Welcome into the Boom Bust Dynasty Trade Show. We have currently, 7 trades in the queue that we're going to go over. We have multiple team reviews that we'll take a look today. If you are looking to have your trade question answered, you can submit that at boombustfantasy.com and it will get added into the queue. If you're watching on a platform that is widescreen, you can see the queue across the top of your screen. If you're watching on TikTok, you just saw me point at where you can see the queue of questions coming through. Let's not wait. Let's get the first one on the board. Here comes question number 1. We've updated the TikTok feed to show the trades a little bit better on the TikTok feed. But if you are looking to see the roster of the submitting team, the roster of the submitting team will be showing up on the screen right here on a widescreen view. You just might have to navigate to a different platform to see that. We've got a bunch of information about the trade on the TikTok feed, though. Let's look at this first one. Comes in from CW Bright 13 in the Young Bucks. It's a 12-team Superflex Start 11 PPR league with a 0.75 tight end premium on top. The trade is 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick for Patrick Mahomes. And this, right off the jump, this is just feeling like, yeah, that's the even price trade. That's about the even price if you wanted to send 2 first-round picks and a second for Mahomes. Yeah, I don't think that's crazy. Looking at the submitter, would I do this trade? So the value, fine. Would I do it? If I am CW Bright, who does not have Patrick Mahomes on this team, would I send multiple firsts to bring him in? I don't know that I would. Do we have a follow-up deal to then move on from Trevor Lawrence or Bo Nix? This team has, I'm counting, 3 first-round picks in 2027, 2 in 2028. If the strength of the 2027 class is first round picks and we want to send a first from 27 and a first from 28, I don't know that we want to send those for Mahomes. I may just hold or try to use those picks in a different way. The only real reason I would want to do this is if I knew I was then taking Trevor Lawrence and moving him for someone higher up than the 102 in this year's draft, like Carnell Tate or higher at wide receiver, or similarly valued running back higher up there. I'm not sure that I just want to send my future picks for Mahomes here. I'm going to call it even. That is about the price, but I don't see the reason to do it with the roster of the person asking the question. Let's take a look at some of the chats. We've just gotten through the first trade. We're a few moments into the stream. Welcome in, folks. Packers fan, thank you for liking the live. We are in Chicago here. I am a Bears fan, but I thank you for liking the live. So we got regulars joining in. Bro Chacho joined in. What's up, Bro Chacho? Bro Chacho liking the live. Feel free to chime in the chat as well with your thoughts on the trades. If you are looking to have a trade question answered, submit it through our site, boombustfantasy.com. Like AJP saying, like Pickens or T, I want to target Malachi Fields in 2026 draft so bad. I have the 209. I think he'll be a solid wide receiver too. Oh, this one's not a trade question. We'll read your thoughts in the chat. I think he'll be a solid wide receiver too, like Pickens or T Higgins. I can't tell you it's not possible. I will tell you it's not extremely likely. You can target him. It's not going to cost you very much. From what I have found in rookie drafts, trading into the second round doesn't really cost you anything. It's pretty cheap to get in there. Let's go to the next trade. And I just saw a question come through. You traded Mahomes last year for the number 1 pick and got Genty. Did I win? Oh, that's not really even a trade question. I thought it was going to be like a current trade question. Here we go. Next one coming on the board. New overlay doesn't look horrible. I don't particularly love it. We whipped that up in the past 1 to 2 days to get TikTok compliant. If you want to see the roster of the team submitting these trades, you can on YouTube and on Twitch. If you want to submit your trades and get in the queue, it's up here at the top of the screen on those widescreen views. Otherwise, you're just seeing on TikTok, you're just seeing me point out where you could see the queue. This trade comes in from Joe Daddy in Boom Bust 7. Well, we got AJP. You're taking the Shuck side. I'm about to take a look at this. This is Boom Bust 7. This is one of my leagues. It is a 12-team Superflex start 10 PPR with a half-point tight end premium. On one side, we have Jacoby Brissett, DK Metcalf, Travis Etienne, and a 27 fourth. On the other side, Tyler Shuck, Javonte Williams, Jalen Milroe. Let's start crossing stuff off. I like Etienne more than Javonte Williams, but I'd probably call him even to like Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck. I feel like that's pretty even. And then Javonte Williams and Jalen Milroe for DK Metcalf, Brissett, and a fourth. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I think it's a pretty even deal. I don't know that I would send away Shuck, Williams, and Milroe to get Etienne, Metcalf, and Jacoby Brissett and a fourth. I'm gonna say like just barely. If I have the Shuck side, I'm keeping it. What side does Joe have in this league? He doesn't have Tyler Shuck. He has DK Metcalf. So yeah, I think he's fine to send those. I would send DK Metcalf and those things to bring in Shuck, Williams, and Milroe. I don't think it's a massive value win, but I would. Fantasy and DFS Football Talk says Pittman for DK. What about it? Was Pittman? No, there's no Pittman in this trade, just DK. One in Riddle, Neighbors or Purdy, and a random Neighbors or Purdy. Guys, if you have trade questions, you submit them at the website, boombustfantasy.com, and then they get added into the queue. We have a trade queue. I think it's currently at 6, but we usually fill in about 10 to 15 more from the live chat. On the widescreen views, you can see the queue going across the top of your screen. On TikTok, it just says where to see the widescreen view, which is Twitch and YouTube. Let's jump to the next trade. Next trade comes in from Ken's Bowd, Dynasty 400. It's a 10-team Superflex, start 9, PPR. On one side, we've got Christian McCaffrey and Rashee Rice. On the other side, we have Devon Achane and Chris Godwin. Are we sending away Achane for McCaffrey and Rice? This is feeling even. This is feeling somewhat even to me. If we're trying to just win right now, it's probably McCaffrey and Rice, but that's also similar. We have fading assets on both sides. Christian McCaffrey and Chris Godwin fading. Devon Achane is the most valuable player in this deal. Am I sending Achane to get Rice and McCaffrey? This could blow up in your face. So am I always looking to do this? Let's take a look at the rest of Ken's team. You've got it on your screen right here. So we'd be sending Achane. They have Breece Hall. They have Travis Etienne. We would be bringing in CMC. So we have running backs for the next couple of years. Breece Hall, Etienne, maybe Nick Singleton, maybe. It's a hard maybe, a heavy maybe. And then we would also lose Chris Godwin, but bring in Rashee Rice, who we're not relying on. Got Lamb, London, Higgins, Brown, Zay Flowers. I think I'm taking the upside of the Rice side. Rashee Rice going to go to jail for 30 days. Hopefully that turns out fine for his NFL career. I don't know that it's like a slam dunk win. We're losing the most valuable piece in the trade, Devon Achane. But I could see that side. I could see the Rice side. We got a question on YouTube. Sargat Patel, 16 team Dynasty, half PPR on YouTube. Just check the trade feed. Here's where you submit your trades. This is where we are pulling our trades from. It's actually right where I'm pointing at right now. Submit your trades at boombustfantasy.com. That is the only spot we're taking trade questions from in this time. Next trade, same guy, Ken's. These trades are free, which is why we have two in a row from the same person. Are we sending T. Higgins and Devontae Adams for James Cook? Are we sending T. Higgins and Devontae Adams for James Cook? Bro, Chacho says Cook. I feel like these are even. This is a team that has a lot of wide receivers. It shows up on your screen. If you're on TikTok, we can't show the full team roster. There's just not enough room. There's just not enough room to show everything. Are we taking James Cook here? James Cook, 26, 27? He's probably at peak value. This is probably the tippy top of his value but you get the production. I think the production stays there for this year. I think you're ending up with better. I mean, looking at this roster, are we doing James Cook? Like we have Achane, Breece Hall, Travis Etienne. This is the same person that just had a trade where they were looking to bring in McCaffrey. We'd be sending away T. Higgins and Devontae Adams. That does consolidate some of our roster a little bit. 10 teams start 9. We kind of want to get more value out there. Is James Cook heavily outscoring T. Higgins? That's kind of what we're looking at. And then we're sending away Devontae Adams to get more points into our weekly lineup. I feel like we're paying the full price. I don't know that I want to do that. But I'm going to say it's pretty even. I wouldn't really worry. I wouldn't be concerned. I wouldn't say someone was dumb on either side making this deal. We've got the next trade coming up. Bailey, I sent in a trade review. How long is the queue? On widescreen feeds, you can see the queue at all times. It scrolls across the top of the screen. My current update says 6. Says 6. This trade came in that we're looking at right now came in 23 hours ago. Everything else came in today. So that's where we were taking all trade questions through the queue on the site because it allows us to pull up the roster of the person asking. Jay Hind, what is this? This isn't Marathon. True. First time chatter on Twitch. No, it isn't Marathon. We do stream games during the day on this same Twitch channel, but this was originally our fantasy football channel, and it is also paired with our fantasy football TikTok. Jay Hines, my catch-up man. Let's take a look at this team, at this trade. Did it come up on the screen? It did. Let me pull that up. Is this Jalen? I think it's Jalen P. 23, and Dobby's Dildos. That's the league name. Oh boy. Does that doesn't count as close. That doesn't count as close. You don't free Dobby with a dildo. I'm going to stop talking about that. 12 team, 1 quarterback, start 8, shallow league. No quarterbacks in here, but this will make all of the position players in the trade more valuable. 103 and a 28 projected early first. It is important to say we don't know that it's actually an early 28 first. We have a full year with a supposedly deep draft with a lot of guys in it that could easily change things up. They can easily change things up. So we don't know that it's early. But what are we looking here? 103, which is probably good, which is going to be a good receiver in a 1 quarterback league, or Travis Etienne, Jalen Waddle in the 210. I mean, Etienne probably clears the 28 first. Jalen Waddle is around the 103, the 210. I mean, let's take a look at their team. You guys have the team on your screen. I hadn't pulled it up until now. I think they're sending the 103. So this is a trade where they would be sending the 103. They have 227 seconds or 227 firsts. They have 3 firsts in this year's draft, the 102, the 103. They've got Burden and then kind of nothing behind that at wide receiver. So they'd be getting Jalen Waddle. They'll probably bring in a wide receiver with the 102. They would send the 103 to bring in Jalen Waddle. At 28 first, they would add in ETN. Does this get them contending this year? 2 girls, 1 Cooper Kupp. With Jordan Love, CJ Stroud, possibly. With Ramondre Stevenson and Travis Etienne, borderline. But then the rest of the squad, I'm not seeing the contention to move these picks. I really like, with a rebuild, to build out, acquire picks, acquire firsts, and I want to move my value into first-round picks and then players that are going to hold their value. And then eventually we trade those picks for players. I don't know that this team is there yet. Maybe we end up with Waddle getting way more value. But if we're bringing in a bunch of value, that's not going to help us this year. Travis Etienne declines. The 210 probably doesn't become much. Are we sending the 103 in an early 28 first to do this? I don't know that I am. Like, if I had this team, I wouldn't view it as now's the time to come out of the rebuild in this way. We make a trade like this next year with 28 and 29 firsts after some of these 26s go up in value. On to the next one. We got Greasy K. I'm just here so I don't get fined. We could still find you. We could still find you. We could try it. We could tell you got to drop a super chat on YouTube. I don't think you will. Thank you for being here. Next trade comes in from Kyle Ditt. Kyle Ditt, the American Dynasty 12-team Superflex start 10 PPR half point tight end premium. Let's take a look. The trade is Cam Ward, Carnell Tate, Luther Burden, 3 young assets, first and second year, for Jaden Daniels and Marvin Harrison. Oh. So we're getting big players. I think Jaden Daniels bounces back. There's not a ton at wide receiver on the commies this year, but there wasn't in his rookie year. There's Terry McLaurin and nothing else. And now it's Terry McLaurin and nothing else. Brochacho saying the Jaden Daniels side. I'm still working it out. I mean, Jaden Daniels would cost Tate and Ward likely, and then Burden for Marvin Harrison. Are we that far off with those values? And if I had Jaden Daniels, would I move him for Tate and Ward? I don't know that I would, unless I'm trying to like tear things down. So yeah, I think I'm taking the Jaden Daniels and Marvin Harrison side in a vacuum. And this team is the one sending Cam Ward away. So we're sending Cam Ward away. We would send away Carnell Tate. They have 227 first, Ibuka, Wilson, Waddle, AJ Brown, DJ Moore, Hampton, Cook, Tootin Brooks. And then we would have 2 very good quarterbacks, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Tyler Warren. Like, yeah, I think so. We were just talking about teams. I smoked with rice. I'll pay my fine. $2 super chat from Greasy K. Thank you very much, Greasy K. All right, you got me with that one. I'll pay my fine. Now, does Rice pay a fine in the NFL? I don't. Probably. I'm not sure. Someone let me know if they know if Rashee Rice is getting a fine tacked on. Am I doing this? If I'm coming out of this rebuild? Yeah, I think I could send Carnell Tate and the rest of that. This team has 428 firsts they could also add to this starting lineup. You guys can see the starting lineup on the widescreen feeds, Twitch and YouTube. This looks like it's ready to come out of this rebuild. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Jacoby Brissett is a third, Hampton, Cook, Tootin Brooks, and then the wide receivers that you see here will be changing in the trade. But Tyler Warren, Kittle, and Okonkwo at tight end. Mason Taylor probably still has a little bit value. 227 first, 428 first, that and a 29 that could all be traded away to add to this. I think we're good. I think we're good. Oh, they would add Marvin Harrison in the deal. Like, yeah. I think the trade fits the team, and I think the trade is fair. Taylor Hawkeye, is it Hockey or Hawkeye with the follow on YouTube? Thank you very much. Wyatt asking, how are we doing? Is this WLH from TikTok? We're doing well today. The TikTok, we revamped as much as we could the video that shows on the feed. Like you got to have your face. You have to have parts that are dynamic and moving. If I was just showing static images, I think that's what TikTok shuts down. So we've got the trade on the screen. We've got where you can see the rosters. If you're watching on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch, you can just look right there and see the full roster of the person submitting their question. I think we're feeling all right. Stratos, I'm here for my stream rewards on Twitch. If you're still here, what are the stream rewards you would get? And Sate on TikTok. Let's check out the TikTok chat and make sure I don't miss anything. We've got some people chatting on the trades going through. Okay, it is you. Well, I knew you were Wyatt. I think Sate is the only one. Would you trade Lemon for Justin Jefferson? You can ask the chat if you want to have your trade covered on the show. We do that through our site, boombustfantasy.com, because that is what pulls up the roster here. We got Dewey Sports. Have a good stream. Do we go to Dewey TV on the sports stream? Dewey, how are you doing tonight? I think we will. Dewey, I think we're going early tomorrow. I just heard from Katie. We'll be early gaming tomorrow. I think we'll start at like 8 or 9 in the morning if you guys are looking for gaming. Greasy K, I love what you're building here in the Dynasty space. Thank you, Greasy K. Let's get to the next trade. We don't do a ton of just chatting, dilly-dallying chatting on the Dynasty show. Let's get to the next trade. It's on your screen. Boop. That's where it is on the TikTok feed. I also nailed the pointing on the YouTube. Hot Hands Kanan in Bush League Dynasty. 12-team Superflex. Start 11. Deep. Deep. There are deeper leagues, but this has been some of the deepest. This is about as deep as we've gotten on the Dynasty trade show so far this year. 12-team Superflex start 11, half-point PPR, which I think I like, and a half-point tight end premium here, which I really like for a 12 by 11. What are we looking at? Joe Burrow and a 27 first, or Justin Jefferson and Jordan Love? This is about as even as something could be to me. Burrow for Justin Jefferson, both guys that had down years last year. They were first-round picks in Dynasty startups. Joe Burrow's probably still a first-round pick, and Justin Jefferson falls into the second. He's 27 years old, 27 years old, wide receiver. And he was a top 8 pick last year, same with Joe Burrow, but he's lost a bit of that value. But then the 27 mid-first is just the price for Jordan Love right now. If you acquire Jordan Love, you could probably flip him for a 27 first. If you have him in your leagues, that's about the 1-to-1 price. So I think it's the Burrow side by a hair, but it's close enough that depending on the roster, like, yeah, maybe we do this. What are we looking at here? We have some notes on the trade. I'm fine downgrading my quarterback. My idea is to get a quarterback and a wide receiver in return for Burrow. I don't know that you're getting a quarterback and wide receiver in return for Burrow. We're kind of just flipping Burrow for Justin Jefferson at a slight loss and then moving a first for Jordan Love. But is there a reason, like, are we upgrading at wide receiver? We got McConkey, Harrison, DJ Moore, Josh Downs, Pittman. We need an upgrade, and that this is definitely adding. The team could, yeah, they have enough running backs to contend. Jonathan Taylor, Scatterbo, David Montgomery still going to be probably top 24-ish. And it's a start 11, so he's going to be out there and contributing in a meaningful way. Do we want to, like, pivot, send that first? It's okay. It's okay. How are we feeling on this one? Let me check what the chat has got. Justin Booth 96. I honestly find that people overvalue quarterbacks in Superflex way too much. And it's all based on what those quarterbacks are going to do in relation to other quarterbacks. Brochacho said Burrow gets hurt too much. But I don't know that there's really anything to say that there's some sort of injury issue with Burrow. What do we have in the chat? I just saw one. Burrow side, if it's a 6-point passing touchdown, it's not. So we don't, for people who, I mean, I guess no one would know. On the site and on the streams, it will show if it's a 6-point passing touchdown. If it's 4 points, I just consider that default. So it doesn't show that it's a 4-point league because most of the leagues that we have on the site are 4-point leagues. So it'll say on your screen, on the TikTok feed, the league badges are down here. On other platforms, they're up here, but it will say if it's a 6-point passing touchdown. So it's just 4. I mean, I think this is fine. I don't know that I'm seeing the vision. I keep talking about this trade because I'm kind of hoping that the answer pops out to me. Like, I might just take the upside of Joe Burrow and stay there. We're also getting a potential bounce back upside in Justin Jefferson. So I wouldn't fault. I mean, it's feeling really even with like a teeny tiny slight edge on the Joe Burrow side. So I'm gonna say just barely Joe Burrow. And like, if you got a 2nd-round pick on the other side, that clears it easily. Or a couple thirds starts to clear it. I don't know. I'm the notes here say I'm fine with downgrading my quarterback. I'm also fine with downgrading from Joe Burrow, but I don't know that I love this one because we're not really gaining that much for the downgrade. A 27 first is just what Jordan Love is worth. So Joe Daddy come in. How are you, Joe Daddy? We did cover yours earlier, so it'll be, I think you can just rewind the YouTube feed and find it. You were one of the first ones. And then Wyatt It doesn't get much bigger than a 12 by 11. I had a 12 by 12 that I did not stay in this off season because I was barely able to keep up with all the leagues we started last off season. And we will start more boom bust leagues probably June. I keep saying, I said March, then April, then May, June for sure. And we might go to 2 a month. Let's get the next trade up here. Rice Lager in the league, couple amigos. This one came in 13 minutes ago, so we are not far behind on the queue. We're not far behind on the queue. Rice Lager, couple amigos is the league. The scoring is 12 team Superflex, start 11, deep again, full point per reception, half point tight end premium. We got big dogs at the top of this trade. I'm checking that the format doesn't look so bad on these bigger trades. Jahmyr Gibbs and Jacoby Myers. Okay. Or Jeremiah Love, Josh Downs, Travis Hunter, a 27 second. Okay, I think I'm taking the Downs here. My gut at the start is taking the Downs here. Let's talk through it though. Bailey says win now, take the Gibbs side. I'm not sure. I think we're going to see good production from Jeremiah Love. And then can we take Josh Downs, Travis Hunter, an early 27 second, and maybe some of the other stuff on this team? This is the person who has Gibbs currently. Wyatt says the Gibbs side easily. Can we make a case to tweak this trade? Can we tweak this trade? Because I see more value on the other side. I'm not a Josh Downs believer, and it seems like Rice Lager might be because they're acquiring Josh Downs in this trade. That wouldn't make a big difference for me. I'm not doing this trade to then have a 27 early second or possibly even have Travis Hunter. Is Love a committee backfield? Maybe. I don't think so. Not really. Not much worse than Jahmyr Gibbs was in last year or Bijan was in last year. I don't anticipate much more of a committee compared to those guys last year. Like Jahmyr Gibbs had David Montgomery. Bijan had Tyler Algier that people were worried about. I don't know that anyone on the Cardinals is pushing Jeremiah Love. If we're able to take Josh Downs, Travis Hunter, and a second and pair them with this team has, I guess we could pair some of that up to up tier from Jordan Addison, pair some of those things to up tier with Michael Wilson. Like if we can do a bunch of work off of this, that's fine. And actually looking at this roster, this is one of the lower value teams in the league. So it's not Gibbs to contend here. Are we getting enough? I don't think this is so bad, down tiering off of Gibbs. Wyatt says the Gibbs side easily. This team's not contending in 2026. You can check out the roster here. The way we're breaking it down, it's a very deep league. It's a start 11, so Gibbs becomes slightly less valuable at the top because we have to fill out 12 more players have to start every single week across the rosters in this league. I don't know that this team makes you a contender this year, but this is down tiering slightly off of Jahmyr Gibbs to get a lot more value to then start turning into picks to get through this rebuild, because I don't know that this is a contending team in 2026. So for this squad, yeah, I'm saying it's not a bad deal. And this 27 and Travis Hunter and Josh Downs we could either see a bounce back from Travis Hunter or just right now flip Josh Downs on some of the hype. So I don't think it's horrible. You might be able to get more for Gibbs. I will say that. I will definitely say that in other moves, could you get more for Gibbs alone? Possibly. But doing this move with Jeremiah Love and then taking Downs, Hunter a second, freeing you up to trade other things off of this to start this rebuild, I don't know that it's horrible. It's not terrible. Let's see why it says, if you're confident you can move Downs and Hunter to up tier somewhere else, I can see it, but Downs and Hunter are worthless to me. I mean, there's going to be people in your league that Downs and Hunter are worthless to you. I don't know that that means they are worthless, if that makes sense. We're going to see some production from these guys. I haven't gone over, if you're looking to get your trade in the queue, I don't think I've pulled this up and shown it. We have our website, boombustfantasy.com. It is very easy. Oop, I need to hit clear overlay on the widescreen feeds because it just shows it as a green screen. Why does it do that? It shouldn't do. That's why it does that. I have to hit the clear overlay for the people on the widescreen feeds who just still saw the stuff showing over. It's so we can show the queue. Well, we talk about, if you have not used our site, it is boombustfantasy.com. It is very easy to create your account and get your trades added to the queue. Here it is. You navigate to the landing page. You hit get started. It's going to say sign in or create your account. If you've made an account, just click whichever one you made your account with. Did you make your account with your Gmail or with your Discord access? If you see these anywhere online, clicking these is the same. It'll create your account if you don't have one. And if you have an account, it'll sign you in. Some sites separate them. These buttons do the same thing. For our demo, I can just hit Gmail. I'm using Chrome. I'm logged into Gmail. It just made my account. It was that easy. You just clicked go because I was already logged in with my Gmail. Otherwise, it'll pop up a screen and say, which Gmail account do you want to use? Then you just type in your sleeper username. Mine's my name. Come steal my identity. It'll find all of your leagues. Click the league that you want to use for your trade question. You can always change it later. You are not selecting one league for all time. Here we're in a lot of Boom Bust fantasy leagues. We'll go with Boom Bust 4. We have features that connect you to your Discord, where you can ask your trades just to the community in Discord. I mean, it'll post a poll with a link to your roster and your league rosters, the same thing I'm using on my screen. We'll skip this for the demo. And then you go to trade advice, type in your trade question, hit request expert review, and that's going to add it into the queue. There are references that this is using a trade credit system that will be implemented in the future. But right now, everything on the site is free. So it'll say how many trade credits you have remaining. It should just basically be infinite right now. Then you hit submit for expert review after you've typed in your question, and it gets added into our queue. We are still at 6 trades in the queue. We started at about 7. People have just been adding them in. Right now, the time is about 23 minutes. The last trade that we just covered was Rice Logger. That was 23 minutes ago. They submitted that. And we've been live for 33 minutes. So we are now covering trades that have been submitted on the show. We also have team reviews on there. Like Colton says, submitted my team reviews. When would I see that? What we're going to do tonight, Colton, is we will do more team reviews. We're going to do far fewer team reviews than we do trade questions. We'll clear the queue and then we'll hit some team reviews. In the future, it's probably going to lean more heavily towards team reviews. But similarly to trades, team reviews will not stay free. And we won't do as many of them because this is typically something that people charge quite a bit for. So that will be where we are going as well. This is just demoing the site, building out the stream. This is a very different view on TikTok than we had last week because TikTok was banning the other ways that things looked. So let's get into the next trade. And actually, if you wanted to submit your team for review, we have the trade advice right here. We also have team advice. And then you just hit request team review. And up here in the top right on desktop, you can click your account. It'll pull down all your leagues. You just select whichever one you want to use it for. Whichever league you want to be your league on the site for submitting things. And that's that. I don't think it's that hard, but I made it. So if you have issues with it, we also have this banner along the site that says, post in our Discord channel. What would make it easier to use? I'm just one guy. I'm just one guy. Next trade is Eagles drummer. Serg says streamline process. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Eagles drummer in a 0.0001 points per carry. Ooh, do I need to add in something to check for points per carry on running backs? I probably do. I probably do. Are we sending Quinshon Judkins for Harold Fannin and Caleb Johnson in a 10-team, 2-quarterback, start 11, half-point PPR with a full point tight end premium? With a full point tight end premium, I think we're getting there. Now, Trevor Jansma, this is a half point per reception at a full point tight end premium. This is one of the reasons we make all of the questions come to the site. People don't always post their league settings. How do we feel about this team? They have Harold Fannin. Would I send Harold Fannin and Caleb Johnson? This team has Brenton Strange, Theo Johnson, Michael Mayer. We have Gibbs, Genty, Javonte Williams, Woody Marks. I don't know that I see the vision. What other tight end do they have? Oh, Trevor Jansma. Trevor Jansma. Well, one, I just read them. Two, there's just not enough room on the portrait feed of TikTok to show the entire team. But if you are watching on Twitch or YouTube, it's right here. Their entire team is listed right here. So we do encourage people to check out widescreen feeds. It's the same name, Boom Bust Fantasy on Twitch, Boom Bust Fantasy on YouTube, and you can see the entire team of the submitting roster, all of the picks that they have. Talon says, I already made this trade. Forgot that context. You got rid of Judkins. I think it's fine. I have a hard time picking like any side here as a winner or a loser. I like the slight upside of Caleb Johnson with a new head coach coming into Pittsburgh. I don't know that he's going to be the guy. They brought in Rico Dowdle. It's a long shot that he has any value. But sending Judkins for Harold Fannin with that full point per tight end premium, yeah, I don't think it's a horrible deal. It's kind of like an even swap. I think a lot of people like the Judkins side. The extra full point for tight end is what gets it to about even. Mark that one even. Okay, we're up to 8 in the queue after showing the website. So let's keep things moving. Serge, you got your team submitted. Fingers crossed you can get your team reviewed. I mean, if you're here. So for tonight, we're probably going to be, I'll have the list pulled up and I'll ask who's here and then we'll do them. Your boy Llama. In Connie Duke's world, we're all just living in it. I don't know that reference. So I'll keep moving. 10-team, 1 quarterback, 6 point per passing touchdown. This is what we were talking about before. The league scoring badges will show if it's 6 point. If it's 4 point, it'll just be the default. 10-team, 1 QB, start 8. This is a shallower league. Full point PPR, no tight end premium. So Trey McBride, CeeDee Lamb. Let's see, it's McBride and Drake London or CeeDee Lamb, Kraft, and a first. What's Brochacho feeling? Brochacho's like in the CD side. He calls it fair. And Bailey, this is your offer. Let's pull up your team. You're the Tucker Kraft side. Are you the Prodigy? Yes. You have Tucker Kraft, CeeDee Lamb. Are we sending Tucker Kraft and CeeDee Lamb and a projected late first for Drake London and Trey McBride? You want to upgrade tight end. Is this enough to get McBride? I think it's enough. Wyatt is saying he's taking the side with the first. Brochacho is saying he wants the CeeDee Lamb side. I mean, I think it's enough. I might just stay with CeeDee Lamb and Tucker Kraft. I think we're paying the full price if we're doing this. Or I don't know that I would. Like, can we take this first round pick and, let's pull up your roster. How do we feel about this? You have a very good team. 1 quarterback. We're looking at Brock Purdy, which is kind of the borderline starter. Jeremiah Love, Trevion Henderson, Chase Brown, DeAndre Swift. Up tiering, I think, is the right move. You have 2 future firsts in 27. I don't know that we need to up tier. I think I'm sticking put. As I'm looking at these things, I kind of want to do a very similar thing to what you've presented, though, which is like just trying to find ways to up tier. It's 10-team, 1 quarterback, start 8, and you have a lot of guys. I think I want a better quarterback more than Brock Purdy. Tucker Kraft is a fine tight end in this scoring format. There's no tight end premium. It's 10 teams. We got to just get to 10. Tucker Kraft and Aronde Gadsden are fine for the start of the year. If these guys aren't performing, you have enough stuff to up tier that in season. Right now, the stuff that I would look for is just a quarterback. Can we get better from Brock Purdy, who's, I don't know, like a fair guess for what he does this year is like QB 8. If he's great, QB 6 or 7. But I don't think that lasts forever. So I may try to move. If we're doing up tiers, like that's where I would look. And I think that you would be paying quite a bit to get the upgrade for Trey McBride. And I don't mind overpaying for your team to get up tiers, but I think I'm sticking with CeeDee Lamb there. Yes, Wyatt is saying in a tight end premium, he likes to move. In a non-tight end premium, we're sticking with CD. And I think that I've been thinking that the whole time. There's no tight end premium on this league. We don't know what Trey McBride's going to be with a different head coach, different coordinator. Tucker Kraft's situation staying the same. He comes back and gets healthy. We know he's usable. We know Oronde Gadsden's probably usable. He's got a new situation with an offensive coordinator that has gotten success out of tight ends. Let's see what happens there. You can always make this move later, but if we're just trying to get up tiers, moving slightly up from Brock Purdy seems like a slightly better option. Trevor Jansma? Are we back to Trevor Jansma, or was Trevor Jansma in the TikTok? Trevor Jansma was in the TikTok chat. Let's take a look at this. Scuba Steve with the heart me. It pauses on my end for a second as the heart pops on my face on TikTok. Thank you, Scoob. 12-team Superflex start 9. Are we sending a 20? Oh, okay. We talked a lot on the last one. Now, Trevor Jansma, I appreciate you being in the chat. This one, well, two things. If you guys are entering your trades, because all of these have come through since the stream started, you don't have to type your scoring and I've got notes on my end. Like you can type in notes about your league, like what you were thinking when you made this trade. You don't have to type your scoring. We pull your scoring. We see which side you would be getting. We see your rosters. You don't have to type in your roster. I'm talking a lot on this because it's easily I'm taking Jeremiah Love here. Facial Tootin, nice. Could be a cute little guy. Maybe he becomes something more. Maybe he gets to like the upside for Facial Tootin. Like maybe he becomes like a Bucky Irving. I don't know that I'm betting on it. Parker Washington was okay in a role last year with a lot of injured receivers on the Jags. And then a 27 projected late first, even if it's like a mid first, I don't care. I would send a random future first, Facial Tootin and Parker Washington for Jeremiah Love. I say thank you for your service and get on out of here. Jeremiah Love is the side I'm taking. I kind of just wanted to spend enough time to feel like you got your interaction, because the second I pulled this one up, it was Jeremiah Love. We'll talk it through. We don't even really need to pull up the team there. That is one of those trades where I don't need to see the roster or really need to go through it, because you'd send $3 for, I mean, what's a good analogy? You'd pay $20 for a Lambo because you could then just sell that Lambo for way more than $20. And in this trade, you send those 3 guys for Jeremiah Love. And even if it doesn't fit your roster, you just sell him for way more than you paid. And there's no tax in this situation. Next trade, the Sherm and Carl Nassib fan club. Well, Carl Nassib was he on Hard Knocks? As I thought of that question, I thought there's been a ton of guys on Hard Knocks. That's not a very good question. 10-team Superflex start 10, full PPR, no tight end premium. Kanoa is asking team reviews tonight. We will get to some tonight. The trade on one side, a 28 first, a second, a third in 27, Devonta Smith, Josh Jacobs, or Nico Collins and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Nico Collins. I mean, Devonta Smith? Yeah, if I send Nico Collins and I get Devonta Smith and a 28 first, fine. That's fine for me. That's a lot. And then I send Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt and I get Josh Jacobs a second and a third. That's the way I'm going to start to break that one down. It's Brochacho. Sometimes when there's 5 pieces on the side, I want to make sure I'm not crazy. So we try to break it down and say it out loud so that it becomes pretty clear in the processing. Nico Collins for Devonta Smith in a first. We're feeling good about that. It's a shallower league, 10 by 10. So Nico Collins being the highest producer has a little bit more value, but Devonta in a first is plenty. And then Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt for Josh Jacobs, a third and a second. It's that side by a lot. This is one where it's kind of the inverse of what we just talked about, where you were sending 3 guys for 1 and then knowing you can send that 1 for 3 better guys on the other side. Like you just send 3 guys in, get 1 great piece, and then turn that 1 great piece into 3 guys and it come back in a way better situation. Here we're taking Nico Collins, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. We're taking 2 guys, splitting it to 5 bits, knowing that those 5 bits could all be combined into 2 better guys on the other way. So it's Devonta Smith. It's not really a big discussion. We have 6 in the queue. Let's double check that. That one's going to be marked as live. I've got 5 in the queue and it did just clear that one out. Didn't it? Yes. Sneaky one. Dynasty Kings. Ooh. 8. Sneaky one. Are you here? Do we have these settings right? 8 team Superflex, 13 starters. This is the reason things are free. When we get a question like this one, 13 starters, and it's not like IDPs. I see someone named Josh Jacobs just joined after we talked about Josh Jacobs. Okay. So 8 by 13, fast math. I mean, we could just flip it. If it was 13 teams start 8, that would still be a little bit more shallow or closer to a 12 by 9, 12 by 10, roughly. So similar values-ish. How are we feeling on this one? Kimani Vidal and Trey Harris on one side, paired with Amari and Hampton, 3 Chargers. Okay, I like Amari and Hampton. Do I like him more than Jonathan Taylor? Around the same. Like the upside of Hampton. Taylor and Giddens and a late 27 second. This is feeling like we're really just a 1-for-1 swap almost of Taylor for Hampton and then kind of just moving around some of the extreme depth on these teams, kind of junky depth. Let's take a look at, this comes from Jason. You have Hampton currently. Is there a reason to send Hampton to up tier? Does this team need to try to shoot for higher production in Jonathan Taylor? In the back half of the year last year, was Jonathan Taylor still amazing? I don't think he was. He had a really hot start in 2025. Is anyone here moving Omari and Hampton for Jonathan Taylor? Because they seem close to interchangeable to me. Well, you have Jeremiah Love, so it's not a need for youth. The rest of the deal the rest of the pieces in the deal I don't really care a ton about. Are you valuing the 2nd round pick you would get? It says 2027 late 2nd, but it's only 8 teams, so that's 4 later. Not moving Hampton for Taylor. Age is a big factor. From Rick on YouTube. I'm feeling like we're in that same range. A 27 late 2nd is probably closer to it would be pick 16 would be the last pick in a 2 rounds of an 8-person draft. So the 1 or the 204. I don't know that we're expecting to get the 204 to 203. I think I'm staying with Hampton. And unless we're feeling that there's a big difference between Vidal and Trey Harris for DJ Giddens and a 27 second, which a late 27 second is probably in the closer. I mean, it's close to a 1st round pick in value, closer as we get to be like a mid second. I think I'm just going to I think I'm staying with Hampton. on that deal. If you went the other way, I wouldn't say you're wild. We're getting a lot of people in the chat saying they would stick with Hampton paired with McDaniels and the healthier asset. ZC Jesus in Death of a Dynasty. We're at 5 trades in the queue as we look at it. Once we get through those, we're almost about an hour in. We will do some team reviews afterwards. We'll stay on later, get the team review process going. Ooh, this is starting to push up into my chin on TikTok. There's not a lot of room on TikTok. So if you are looking to see the full roster of the person submitting the trade, that is available on YouTube and Twitch, and it will show up right there. If you're on YouTube and Twitch, you can just see it. It's giant on your screen. You can see the whole roster. ZC Jesus, 12-team Superflex, start 10, PPR. This is a big boy. Accepted this trade, looking to win 3 straight championships, looking to acquire another big-name receiver. This is Coolio. What's up, Coolio? Is Coolio here? He is. I see him in the live chat. At least in the live, TikTok gives me a somewhat out-of-date list of the live viewers. He says, yes, sir. Are we sending 27 first, a 28 first, Baker Mayfield, Nico Collins, and a third to get Jameer? I mean, there's a ton of stuff here for Jahmyr Gibbs and Xavier Worthy. We're paying a lot. We're paying a lot. You accepted this. You brought in Gibbs. 12 teams start 10. Okay. If it's Jahmyr Gibbs for Nico Collins and 2 firsts, Nico Collins and 2 firsts is I could see that going through. And then saying Xavier Worthy for Baker Mayfield, a second and a third. It starts getting it close-ish. Like if we think there's still upside with Xavier Worthy, like it's a full price pay. This is feeling like maybe I don't know that the person selling Jahmyr Gibbs was going to get a ton more than this in this league. So I mean, let's pull up. This trade. Let's see. Wyatt Brown says I'd rather not include Baker. Well, take a look. So the roster as shown here. Well, Wyatt Brown, you're on TikTok, so you can't see their roster, but on YouTube and Twitch you can. They do not need Baker Mayfield. So they're still paying a lot. Not needing a player doesn't mean sell them cheap, which is kind of closer to what we're looking at here. Caleb Williams and Patrick Mahomes are the 2 quarterbacks with Deshaun Watson as a third in this league. You still have the 101, 102, 108, and 209. I forgot about that. Coolio, you still have the 101, 102, 108, and more. Then yeah, then this is fine. Then this is probably fine. Yes, LOL, he says. Like, you paid a bunch. This team has Bijan. Now it has Gibbs. It has Genty. It'll have Jeremiah Love. It'll have Derrick Henry, RJ Harvey. I'm not going to read the rest of the roster because I would rather people watch it on a widescreen feed so they can just see it. I mean, you'll be short at wide receiver. Puka, Ibuka, Metcalf, Worthy. So you'll need something there, but you have the 101, 102, 108. You'll probably be adding in Carnell Tate, and at 108, a receiver there. Maybe Concepcion is there. Maybe you trade away the 108. 207 in the third, you were okay giving away. Oh, yeah, me too. The 207 in the third, I don't know that I would wipe my butt with those picks. Sorry for getting a little PG-13 there. Daniel, how do I add stuff for him to review? Let's pull it up for you. Let's pull it up for you, D. Let me prep the demo and we'll go right through it. We'll go right through it because this often gets trades added into the queue. Daniel on TikTok says, how do I add stuff for him to add to the chat? Daniel, here is, let me log out and we'll just run through the full demo. Whoops. Do we have that on screen? Oh, we got to clear that overlay. I should just separate that so that I am not good at remembering it. Daniel says, love your stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Even if you didn't. Here is our website, boombustfantasy.com. It's the same name as the TikTok page. the Twitch page, the YouTube page, where you can see this in widescreen and see the roster of the person submitting the trade. Here's how you get your trade questions into our queue. We have 4 trades in the queue right now. The last one, maybe I haven't refreshed this page in a minute, it says 17 minutes ago. You come to our website. Here's our landing page. You click Get Started, and it's going to say Create your account. All you do is click right here in Chrome. I'm already logged in with my Gmail. You can create your account with Gmail. It is this fast. You click one time, the account is created. And then all it wants you to do is type in your sleeper name so that we can pull your leagues. My sleeper name is just my first name, last name. Please feel free to steal my identity. We have no money. It pulls up all the leagues that you are in on Sleeper. I have plenty of these that are just boom bust leagues that we started. I'll click any one of these. You can change it at any time. Up here in the top right, you can click. This should show up on just the edge of the TikTok feed. It pulls all your leagues right here. You can set that. We also have options for connecting Discord. You can post your trades to our Discord where Brochacho, Wyatt, people are in our Discord. They can answer your questions there as well. You can answer each other's questions. Once you're on the site, you can click trade advice. It'll work the same way as TikTok is saying I'm not here. I gotta let them know I'm still here. Once you're on the site, you can click trade advice. It works the same as any trade calculator. You type in the players in the trade. Like, oh, you want to send Josh Allen for Jaden Daniels and someone else, Parker Washington. I just like Parker Washington because his name sounds like Porker Washington. Once you've done that, you just click Request Expert Review. That'll add it into the queue. You could also click Post to Discord if you've linked your Discord. That's what this one here is, and it would post it into our Discord trade questions chat with a link to your team, your roster, your scoring. You hit that and click Submit for Expert Review, and that'll add it into the queue. Let's take a look. And that is how you do it. We also have the option for submitting your team for review, and we will talk about that because I just saw a message from who says, I've also requested a team review like a week ago and heard nothing. That's because they're free, boss. And we're doing these to test out the site. So we will get to some team reviews at the end of this, but these are low priority for me. Team reviews will become a paid product. Any site that you go to right now has them as a paid product. We're testing out our trade process, our team review process. That's why they're free. And that's why we'll do a couple. We have a long queue of people who have submitted them. And we probably won't do most of them until it's a paid product and then people can resubmit them. Because I don't know that we're going to have to go through that many to work out all of the bugs and issues. So we'll do some of those at the ending here, but some of that is the site's getting built out. We're adding in the payment setup. We'll do some of them for free and get stuff tested out. Switch back to trades. Did we cover this one? We did in Death of a Dynasty. Make sure I mark that one done. And let's get the next one on the screen. W won the K. I don't know what that means. Degenerate Drafters Anonymous. Classic. 12-team Superflex, 6-point passing touchdown, 11 starters, PPR with a tight end premium on top. So it's going to pull some of the value out of other players and send that value to tight ends. It doesn't heavily affect players, but just across the board. Greasy K with a K. Oh, this is Greasy K with a K. Greasy K, you got Bijan on my team for this price. Sent away a 27 first and second, a random 27 second. We got it all right here. You don't have to type it out, Greasy K. It's all right here. You acquired Bijan. Are we sending Amon-Ra St. Brown a 27 first for Bijan? I feel like right there, we're hitting the final thing on the notes is, did I overpay for Bijan? A little. I feel like it's safe to say a little. We get some, let me know, am I wrong? I'm in the chat, let me know. Because I feel like this is the high end of the Bijan market. Amon-Ra in a first should just clear and get you there. Amon-Ra in 2 seconds, I feel like gets you there. User, are you doing chat questions right now? No, we take all of them through the site. So we'll keep talking on this trade. User, we don't do chat questions because they show up like this on TikTok, but on Twitch and YouTube, we have the full roster of the person who submitted this trade, because every trade goes through our website and it pulls all the scoring settings. That's how you can see them on your screen. You can submit your question right now, and if you do it through the site, it just pulls all of that stuff and puts it on the show for us. So that's how we get all of that. It's just a programmed overlay that I made that takes your question, pulls your league settings, pulls the roster up on the screen for people to see, so that we can really get into the nitty-gritty of giving advice that fits the person who asked it. We also will talk about just the general value so that everyone can track some stuff now. User 61, can we submit questions right now? Yes, it's on our website, boombustfantasy.com. We just did the demo, so we'll just let you know it's boombustfantasy.com, just like the TikTok name. Okay, back to this one for Greasy K. I mean, yeah, the short version, yeah, it's an overpay. If we look at your team, can we survive the overpay? You got JSN, Carnell Tate, Garrett Wilson, I almost said Garnett, Josh Downs, Trey Tucker, Tank Dell. I mean, you have Bijan, Cook. Didn't you say you got, am I reading this wrong? No, you got Bijan. You got Bijan. So now you have Bijan, Cook. I was thinking Gibbs. They're the same in my mind. Bijan, Cook, David Montgomery. You have Josh Allen. You have Dak Prescott. Like, you're contending. You're contending. This team looks like it's going to go. Tucker Kraft, JSN, Tate. You already drafted. You've got 127 first. I think you sent another one away. Ramondre Stevenson probably still helps you out here. Did we look at this team last week? Did we look at this team last week? I've definitely seen this issue. I mean, yeah, the short version is we paid a little bit a lot. I think we've paid a little bit a lot. Because it's really just Amon-Ra first should get you to Bijan. And then we're sending 2 extra seconds. Is it the end of the world to not have those 2 seconds? No. But I would, if I had Bijan, I would take the picks and move on and feel good. But I don't think you need to feel like you ruined your team here. Let's see. Yeah, nah, yeah says same on website. Not sure where to ask. On desktop, it looks like this. Here's a logged in page. It's just right across the top. Trade advice. On phone, I think I can give you guys what it would look like on your phone. Do I click here in Chrome? Yeah, it would look like this. So you would have to come up into the top right and go to trade advice. So there should be 3 little lines up here. You let me know, yeah, nah, yeah. We're getting into developer mode on a browser to demonstrate a phone view, but it should be right up in the top right. This 3 should get you to trade advice, your league, my team, my advice. You just do trade advice, and then it will be there. It's not letting me click on this browser. But it would look like this. You just type in your players there. Let's switch that back to the desktop view and close out the developer console. And swap back to the trades. We've got some here. As seen on TV, we've looked at this one before. This team. Superfan D joined. What's up, D? Welcome back in, D. As seen on TV in Toxic League. I remember this one from last week. Not particularly this trade, but this name and league name. I think we did a full review on the roster. How are we feeling on this trade? 12 team, 1 QB, 6-point passing touchdown. So running quarterbacks, not as important or as impactful compared to quarterback hucking or touchdown hucking quarterbacks. That's a terrible sentence. 8 starters, a little bit shallow, like a me. I'm kidding. How are we feeling on this trade? Bucky Irving, Jake Tonjes, Tyler Shuck on one side, Omarion Hampton, and a 27-second on the other. How are we feeling? Shuck and Irving clears Hampton a little bit. Is this from Delusional Vikings fan? Or are you just saying the side, the Tyson Shuck stack? Oh, you're looking at the team. I haven't gone to the team yet. I haven't gone to the team yet. I pull it up. I try to gauge a value, and then we look at, does it fit that team? That's the way I typically speak through it, but you guys don't see what I'm seeing. You see a slightly different view. Bucky, Irving, and Shuck. Like, that's clearing Hampton probably by about a second. And then Jake Tonjes just kind of thrown in there. Like, he also gets to play. Looking at it, am I sending Bucky and Shuck? Oh, yeah. If Shuck's your third quarterback, I think we talked about, okay. As seen on is it as seen on TV, but the name is Sean? Because I doubt your name is Sean. So is it as Sean on TV? As Sean on TV? Joe Burrow, Bo Nix is fine as your QB. For the TikTok people, this is all you see. We have the full roster of the person submitting, so we're kind of talking through it. That's Tonjes. Yeah, that is Tonjes. Different story. Okay, as Sean on TV on YouTube. I think we went through this one last week, or was it Monday? I don't know. The days all blend together for me. We looked at this because I remember this name. And I think we said, move it as a team review, moving Shuck into taking this, Tyler Shuck, and moving him into your starting lineup would benefit you. So moving Irving and Shuck gets you Hampton, who is hopefully better. Definitely has more value right now. Now, does that convert into production in the season? We hope so. And especially because this is a one quarterback league. Oh my gosh, I'm having a massive brain fart. And it's a one QB league. Bucky and Shuck. Yeah, you take Hampton. It's a one quarterback league, and I wasn't thinking about that when I started talking about this. You take Hampton, right? Let me know in the chat. Am I the only one who said one quarterback out loud and then didn't track it? Up tier to Omari and Hampton, and we get that second round pick on top. And like Jake Tonjes, I don't know that I care that much. You have Fandon and Pitts. I'm moving on from Tonjes to go up to Hampton. And we clear out a third quarterback in a league where you only have to start one. So you have Joe Burrow, Bo Nix, you're fine there. Who'd that come through from? Russell? What's up, Russell? Thank you for the heart, me. Rick on YouTube is saying take Hampton. I'm saying take Hampton. Serge is saying take Hampton. And the pick. Say it's a mid-second round pick. I don't know that I'm excited to make the pick, but you can trade the pick too. More easily than you could trade Tonjes. And Tyler Shuck is just not going to have a ton of value in a one QB league. Got a regular viewer popping back in. I just saw LeBron enthusiast. What's up, man? He chimes in on the chats. Kyle in the TikTok chat. I'm in a 12-man PPR league. Do I try to upgrade a ride? We are doing some team reviews, Kyle. We're not doing straight chat questions. This one comes from Serge. Am I saying it right, Serge? He's saying agreed, take Hampton. He's on YouTube right now. Made the trade already, wanted your thoughts. It's in the past. 12-team, super flex. I see you, Twitch first-time chatter. I see you. We'll read it right after this. But it was about your question. We will get to it. 12-team super flex, start 9, PPR. I haven't even read the message. How are we feeling? Roman, you said made the trade already, wanted your thoughts. Josh Jacobs for Rome and a first. I think I'm taking Rome and a first. And Serge, you have Rome and you have an extra first. And you have Bucky Irving, RJ Harvey, DeAndre Swift. I like Odunze on the first. What are we feeling in the chat? Delusional Vikings fan, Odunze with the hammer. Hammer down now. Russell, we're going to win some fantasy leagues. We're going to try. Russell, what are you feeling on this one? We taking Rome in the first? I think that's it. User 61 says, did a trade request and a team review request. Thanks. Was super easy. We try to make it easy. Bray man, I did see your other message. We are going to read that right now. You're saying Rome 100%. Joe is saying smash it. It's Rome. Some of this is just me talking a little bit so that we don't just, no one ever thinks we're dismissing their question. I'm taking Rome in a first. Every time. I don't care what the team is. I don't care if Josh Jacobs is your only running back and you are Josh Jacobs, and we did have someone named Josh Jacobs in the chat, and I don't care if you're Josh Jacobs' mom or if Josh Jacobs is your dad, we're trading him for Roman the first. Harvey's questionable for me this season, but it's a good trade from Rick. Harvey's questionable, but you just trade a first for a different running back. Just trade a first for the different running back. You can always take that first and just bring it in, send it right away. Okay. Brayman, when you get to mine, I inserted the wrong sleeper user at start and didn't realize. So I was making a user error, but I inserted my roster in the description. Ooh, Brayman, Brayman, let's solve this real quick. Let's solve this right quick. Let's clear this overlay. Let's do a little bit of customer service for you right now. Brayman said Rome 100%. He's in the chat. Which submitter did you use? Big B Cards or Jetstream? Or are you Jack? I think Jack might be user 611. What do I type? I type this? Oh, I can't do that. You let me know. You're Big B. Okay, okay. Let's put you're next after this one. We will get it cleaned up. Let me take just a minute to see. Okay, I'll go. This is gonna be easy. This is gonna be easy. Wish Dewey was here to do Dewey TV so I could have someone chatting while I fix this. It's a one-man show here. But let's just do this a little bit of customer service and get your account cleaned up so that you can just enter your sleeper username and resubmit it with their roster. Probably less than 60 seconds on this one. What were you? Big B Cards. Let's take this. We copy that. We go here. We find the account. It's running. It's found your account. I just type this, type of that, paste of that, take a this, do a dat. What? Why that not dat? Why that not happen? That should have happened. Oh. Okay, solved. Sorry, guys. I know this. Did someone time me? Did I stick within the timeline? Okay. Any sleeper name with your account has been removed. If you log back in, it should hopefully redirect you back to the onboarding to set in your sleeper account, Brayman, and then just resubmit the trade. That way we can get it on the screen. And now we have Jetstream, GM Dynasty. Okay. How are we feeling on this? The trade is, let me pull it up on my screen. Roma Dunze and a first. Kind of like what we were talking about in that Josh Jacobs trade. For CeeDee Lamb at a 29 first? Wait a minute, what? The notes say you traded CeeDee because you don't like his outlook with Pickens. The 27 first is from the same team that finished last this season. Got Rome as a throw in from the other team because he isn't as optimistic. Oh, Brayman, the credits they're all made up. Let's take a look at this trade and then we'll talk to you, Brayman. We don't need to worry. We don't need to worry. Jetstream. Okay, 8-team, 1 quarterback start 8. Oh no. That makes that one worse. Okay, if your team is an 8-team league and you're starting 8 and you only start 1 quarterback, CeeDee Lamb is really, really valuable in a league like that. So the way you think about something like that for everyone, if your league is 8 teams start 8, like you can see on TikTok, it's pointing at the scoring. On Twitch and YouTube, the scoring is up there. You can just do the math on that. Every week, 8 teams start 8 players, so 64 players start. When we do Dynasty leagues, there's just a different format. We do 12 teams start 10. So 120 players start each week. So if we're only starting 64 versus 128, and then we add in like some bench depth. So if say you're in a league that starts 120 players a week and then you have some bench depth behind that, that's like 140 players, 150 players you want to assign value to. That number gets way smaller when you're starting with 64 starters and then some bench depth past that. And the value doesn't just go away, it gets all pushed up to the top, pushed up to CeeDee Lamb. So CeeDee Lamb is really, really valuable. So if we're in a league that's deeper, 12 by 10, we're saying, man, CeeDee Lamb is worth more than Rome and a first. And we hope it's an early first. And the 27 firsts are valuable because we're looking at quarterbacks, a lot of quarterbacks going in 2027. Projected right now is like people are thinking it'll be close to 5 or 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round of the 2027 draft. But if you're in a 1 quarterback league, you don't care about that. We're starting 8 quarterbacks every week rather than 12 in a 12-team 1 quarterback league or a 12-team superflex league where you're starting 24 quarterbacks. That's where we want 27 firsts. And that's where we want the top end 27 firsts. If we're sending CeeDee Lamb for a shot at getting Jeremiah Smith and another first on top, I think we're spending too much. This one I got to go with the CeeDee Lamb side. Brayman, let me know if that one went through. And then you mentioned the credits. We're probably just going to pick a day, Brayman. So it'll show credits on the site. We'll pick a day. And I know that I'm making a mistake right now having them on there because people will see it and make assumptions like you. The credits will just go right back. We'll pick a day where we just say, here we go. Everybody gets 3 and then be done. Nick Nato says, what about the other receivers on the roster for that team? Puka, Malik, Rome, Rashee Rice, Matthew Golden. Is there a follow-up question there? Because I think the trade it's still on the screen. I think the trade is just so lopsided that I'm not going to worry about the roster construction. I don't personally wouldn't move CeeDee Lamb for a shot at the 101. Like CeeDee Lamb right now is similar value to the 101 in this year's draft, and the value next year is not going to shoot that much higher. If you look up historically what was like Marvin Harrison worth when he got picked the last time we had a stud can't miss receiver prospect going at the 101, 102. It's kind of where the 101 this year was. It doesn't get that much higher. Okay, we're going to skip Big B cards and they'll submit. Okay, Jack. This is user 6, user 611. No. Yeah, is Jack. Okay. Ooh, Chuba Hubbard or Jordan Addison? You're thin at running back. The team is this a deal that went through? Because I like Jordan Addison on this one. It's 8-team Superflex, 12 starters. But even if you just flip that, the way that we're trying to determine depth is just 12 teams starting 10 is 120. So we can just flip this and say 12 starters across 8 teams is the same as, is very close to, it'll change quarterback values, but it's very close to 12 teams starting 8. The quarterback values tweak a little bit. Okay, you already made the deal. I mean, you have Saquon, you have Josh Jacobs, aging guys. I'm going to put Chuba Hubbard in that range. He's not as old as them, but I don't know that he is that far off from the end of his career. Maybe he has a resurgence and just kind of lasts and lasts and lasts. But my guess is that teams don't end up wanting to pay Chuba Hubbard for what he is as he just becomes more expensive the longer he's in the league. I don't know that he's that far away from the end of his career. I kind of like the Jordan Addison side. as a bounce back. I feel like we found the low end of Addison on the market and pivoted to Chuba Hubbard, and I don't know that Chuba Hubbard has the bounce back potential that Jordan Addison does. I could always be wrong with any of the advice that we give here. I would have stayed with Jordan Addison, even with the team that you have, because you have Saquon, you have Josh Jacobs, you have Dobbins and Pollard, who will give you production this year. I'm not sure that we're using Chuba Hubbard a lot. This team has, you have Puka, Wilson, Tyson, Devonta Smith. You're also possibly not using Jordan Addison a ton, but I think I like the upside of Addison. So I'm going to say I would have stuck with Addison. I don't know that you've destroyed your team. We're kind of just moving depth starters. If you're starting 12 guys, maybe you're starting each of these this week, but I don't know that we're ultimately changing up the value on the team. I like Addison more than Chuba Hubbard, though. Russell says, give me Addison. Demetri, got to keep 2. Oh, I can't do keepers. MN Riz. I got to read it. And then, okay, we'll pull this one up. I see Fantasizing Football Nerd. He's still in the chat. We'll answer his question. And then who did say it was MN? We have had some questions come through the chat. I feel like I keep looking at the person in the chat who said that this is them, but I know they're here. So we're just going to cover this. And then for anyone putting their trade questions in the chat, okay, it's user 611. Thank you. I'm losing my mind here. We've done a lot of live streaming today. For people entering their trades in the chat, we do all our trades through our website, boombustfantasy.com. So if you're on TikTok, which has the most active chat, it pulls in the most people, but there's just not enough space for me to show everything. So we are widescreen on Twitch and YouTube, where we pull up the full rosters from the trades in question. So the person who submitted their question, their whole roster gets shown on the screen automatically. You don't have to type it in. Your league settings as you ask your question, you don't have to type those in. They get pulled automatically through the website. So everything that's generated here is done just by when you enter your question. It's the same way you would on any trade calculator on our website, boombustfantasy.com. It is easiest to navigate on your desktop. Okay, Brayman resubmitted. We will get into this one right here. Okay, Emin Riz, 12-team Superflex, start 10, PPR, small tight end premium, little baby tight end premium. And I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just 0.25. You don't see it that often. Usually 0.5. Nothing wrong with any league settings, gang. Nothing wrong with any league settings. How are we feeling on this trade? Ibuka and a 27 first for Genti. It's around the price. The notes here say currently in early discussion with the Genti manager. He wants Ibuka and a first for Genti. That's a bit steep for me. You don't need to contend in 2026, but would love Genti. Who can you add from both sides to make it a better deal? Tips for your team as you feel like you're in a rebuild. I don't know that the team is on the screen. Do we feel like this team is still in a rebuild, or do they have enough pieces to come out of a rebuild? You would be sending Ibuka in a first to put Genti with Algier and Jordan Mason, Tank Bigsby. So not really anyone there. Quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence, Cam Ward. Maybe we get second year production from Cam Ward as he gets real receivers. And then your wide receivers, Chase Ibuka, Odunze, Burden, Marvin Harrison, Alec Pierce, Jaden Reed. Like, you have a lot of options there. Do we send Ibuka and someone's first to bring in Genti? How many firsts do you have? You have 1, 2, 3, 4. People on Twitch and YouTube can see it right there. Loads of firsts. We talk about with rebuilds, build out, grab firsts and players that can become first round picks, and then eventually combine them into better players. How are we feeling on this? We're paying the full price. Like, Ibuka and a first is the full bit for Genti. Does this team, can you, let me pull the rosters up again. Like, can this team contend with Lawrence and Ward? And if we start taking, you have 4 future firsts, can we take 2 of them and get some running backs? Or send one of those firsts for like Kyron Williams or a running back, maybe a little bit higher than that, depending on how your league values first, like shoot a little bit higher, and then send 2 seconds for Derrick Henry and get a mid-age running back and Henry to be your guys and go. Like, I think there's other paths that you could take here rather than just going for Genty. R says, my thoughts here, why not send Ibuka for like Achan, just a smidge below Genty? There's also that. And you keep the first. I think we're taking, at some point in some rebuilds, it is okay to take your picks and overpay for guys once you've like fully beefed up and you have the value, the keep trade cut value to be like, you're at the top of the league. That does not mean you're at the top of production. I'd look at like some of these 28 second, you have an extra 28 second. Can you move a 27 second and a 28 second and shop those together to see what sort of running back you can get and then get a gauge of what your running back room looks like? Because even if you go get Genty here, you still got to get another one. You don't have 2. We want to get you to like 2 and another guy. 2 startable running backs and DeAndre Swift. Or someone in that tier on this roster. So I'd look at what other options are available for you before just doing something like that. And if I had Genty, there's plenty of teams where I would just down tier for Ibuka and pick up the extra first. Surge says, by the vets, it's pretty fair. Needs the running back help. Yeah. Ooh, I got to sit up. This is a bigger trade. We got a lot of pieces on each side. We don't get, look, here's my nose sitting right on the trade on TikTok. We don't get many with this many players. So we'll get my head up into the frame. I'm starting to slouch anyway. Here we go. Leo Map. To tank or not to tank? 10-team Superflex. 6-point passing touchdown. Start 10. PPR half-point tight end premium. We're going for an hour and a half. How are we feeling on this deal? Lamar on one side. It is Superflex. Lad McConkey, Josh Jacobs, Elijah Arroyo. We're moving big pieces. Brock Purdy, Terry, a 27 first and a 27 second. Okay, notes. Did this trade push me into a high competing team while not destroying my future? Did you make this deal? Did you make this deal? Do we get a lot of, but in the chat, how often are people submitting their questions and how often would you want a feature? So Evan says, yes, you made this one. You have Lamar. How often would you guys want a feature to just from your team page or your league page, take the trades you made and just submit them as a grade the trade? To me, like, I don't know what the user, I don't always know what users want. Here's a situation where someone made a trade, because we could do that. Just have, here's all the trades you made in your league. Do you want to just take one and submit it as is? Because we can do that. Evan says that would be cool. But Evan's the one submitting a trade he already made. Greasy says, awesome idea. Okay, so we'll get that in there because I think we have that currently. Well, we will do this trade, but let me see if I have that. We have this. Does this work? Yeah. Okay. It's hidden. This is hidden. We'll make this more visible. If you go to your league, we're going to make this more visible. We'll clean up this league page. On the recent trades, if you right click any of them, why would any of you know that you could right click that? You can just hit post to Discord. We'll make this more visible and give you the option to just post it straight for a review from the league. So it'll take all of the league settings. And if it's a real trade, we can just show both rosters on the screen as well. The stupid roster's still showing. I should change that. Let's go back to the trade and talk about it. We're talking a little bit of shop right now. Here's the trade. It's big. It's beefy. How do we feel about this team? You got Lamar, Ladd, Josh Jacobs. You moved Brock Purdy. You moved Terry. You're saying, did it push you into a high competing team with not destroying your future? You moved 2 picks. Where can we find value equivalents to start crossing things off? Like Tet over Lad, yeah. Tet and a second for Lamar? Ethan, I see your question. That's a bummer. Any way to submit it? Try doing Control-Shift-R if you're on a desktop, Ethan. And that should reset your cache. Hopefully that works. Or it may be a different, I mean, shit. I don't want to tell you to use a different browser, but I bet a different browser might do it with the error that you're putting in the chat. We've cleaned up most of those errors, Ethan. Okay, how are we feeling? You moved Tet, bring in Lamar. Tet and something on top should get you to Lamar. Tet and a second get you there. And then do we start looking at other things like Brock Purdy and Terry for Lad? I mean, it's kind of like Brock for Lad right now. Yeah, I don't think it's... I think the value might be on the Brock side. But production right now is definitely on the Lamar side. Did we pay too much? I don't know that you did. A projected late second probably just kind of disappears. Let's look at your current team right now. How do we like it? Would we rather have future picks and Tet McMillan? Because we like Lamar, we like Trevor Lawrence. Kirk Cousins is an okay third. You kind of hope that Lamar or Trevor Lawrence has an earlier bye week to overlap with Kirk Cousins still playing, if he's playing. And then you have Genty, James Cook, Bucky, Josh Jacobs. Okay, I mean, Josh Jacobs doesn't even need to go for you. You could probably pair him up and move him. So if we're feeling like we are going to be missing out on Tet, you have Lad, Brian Thomas, AJ Brown. I keep trying to sit up to stay over the trade because it's so big. Lad McConkey, AJ Brown, Brian Thomas. You're contending. You're definitely contending. But I would also look at the follow-up moves from that deal. Like Josh Jacobs, do you need him to start if you have Genty Cook and Bucky Irving in a 10-team start 10? And then Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs are the guys fading. I don't know that you destroyed your future. I think we paid quite a bit. Like, did we need to send a second here? I think you could have done it without the second. I'm not bringing a ton in on Elijah Arroyo. Did it push you into a contending team? Like, yeah. Did it destroy your future? Didn't crush you. It didn't crush you. I don't know that... Like, which side... They're feeling really close, the two sides. Is there anyone in the chat with a full comfortable side of which side of this you want to be on? Because I'm looking at... I kind of want that 27 first is where I would be. But I don't hate it. I wouldn't say you did bad. I'm going to go with the Lamar side. I would rather have the Lamar side. Ethan says you're split. That 27 first is going to be nice. I'll take the Lamar side. I mean, can we just move Josh Jacobs and someone else on your team to get to a 27 first if we're not starting him? Brayman says the Tet side personally. When I'm feeling torn that long, just means it's fair. Or it feels fair. Or I'm an idiot. I don't know all the answers, but it feels fair. Let's go with Sneaky One. Now, we got one from Sneaky One earlier. Kenneth Gainwell or a 27 third? Would I send a 27 third to bring Kenneth Gainwell onto this team? Maybe. Does your team need Kenneth Gainwell? You don't have him right now. If you have Genty, Irving, Charbonnet, J.K. Dobbins, Tajay Spears, are we sending a 27 third to get Kenneth Gainwell? How old is Kenneth Gainwell? Am I blanking on his age? You know what? Yeah, I am. Yeah. Yeah, I am. I think the production will be worth more than the 27 first. And if you don't get the production, that's fine. Okay, Big B's cards. Oh. Okay. Big B's cards. What did I just? I think I misunderstood what had happened before. You just submitted the wrong league. Okay, this trade. Guy really wants the 102 from me. He plans on taking Price at 102. Jeez. Jadarian Price at 102. He finished this year at the 104, so hoping for an early first. Not sure if this is good for me getting Dart or what to do. You would be sending the 102 for Dart. That's about normal. And then Jacoby Brissett and Fannin for a 27 first. You have Caleb Williams and Stroud. And you have the 102. Oh, you would be bringing in Dart. Jeez. Oh, you need, I mean, okay, so you need some receivers. With the team here. With the team here. Let's start coming to an answer. I've been taking in all the information. You think it's an early first. Do you feel like you're contending this year? 10 teams start 12. We're sending away Jacoby Brissett, Harold Fannin in the 102. I'm fine with sending Jacoby Brissett. You said wrong sleeper user, but it's the same user. Was it the wrong sleeper league? That's what it's seeming more like. Damn ad. But you got Twitch Prime, though. You got Twitch Prime, though. You can get Twitch Prime for no ads. How are we feeling on this? The 102 for Jackson Dart. That's about fine. Am I sending the 102? Am I sending the 102? Shoot. Okay, do we have another one in the queue? Brayman is saying he's in a Twitch ad, which means he can't even hear me tell him, use Twitch Prime. Use Twitch Prime, boss. You got the Prime badge. Every other trade as we've hit every other one. Who is here with a team review right now so we can start thinking about those? If you're in the chat with a team review, we're about to get into those right after this trade when he comes back. So we'll take some of those from the chat. Okay, Surge is here, so we'll do Surge for sure as the first one. Brayman, you let me know. How long do these ads last, Brayman? How do you submit your team for review, Ethan? We'll go through that until Brayman gets back. To submit a team for review, here we are. Once you're logged in, goes to your team page. Ethan, if you're in there on desktop, you just hit team advice and then make sure in the top right that you've selected which team you want to be using. And it hits request team review. Did you get out of there, Brayman? Back. All right. See, that's the problem. All right, Big B cards. I can't even tell you use your Twitch Prime to get out of ads. It shows you with the Prime badge, boss. It shows you with the Prime badge, boss. We'll look at your trades. Okay. Where's the trade on my screen? With the team you have, you're needing receivers. If you feel like you can send the 102 for Jackson Dart and send Fannin and Jacoby Brissett for the first and then trade those things for receivers for the thing you need, yeah. I'm looking at the team. Dr. Mays one with the follow on Twitch. Thank you, boss. Oh, I don't have Twitch sound notifications. I saw it as it came through. Thank you for the follow. I mean, this team doesn't need Fannin. You've got Brock Powers, Brenton Strange. You do need receivers. We're like looking at CeeDee Lamb, Golden, Reed, Coker, like nothing there. I like moving Jacoby Brissett. If you can then take Jackson Dart and move him, start 2 tight ends. You have to start 2. If you have to start 2 tight, let me make a note of that. We'll make a note of this. Star's getting internal error on the website. Okay. Then I'll have to clean up a cache issue on my end, Star. 2 tight end leagues. We don't get a lot of those. So it doesn't show that you have to start 2. Then it starts to become a little bit different because the values here, 102 for Jackson Dart, like that's fine. That's not a terrible swap. I probably want Jackson Dart. It could do more with him and trade him for a receiver that has more value than Carnell Tate. I think Carnell Tate's going to be good, and the 102 is a little bit undervalued. Yeah, Fannin and Bowers are your starters right now, so you'd be moving Fannin and Jacoby Brissett, hoping that you get an early first. Hoping that you would get the early first. Dr. Mays says am I reading that right? Dr. Mays was on, I had to move to Twitch to get the lineup. Hopefully it's worth it to see the full screen. The start 2 tight ends that you have to start does change things up. Because I don't really want to be using Brenton Strange, Noah Fant, and Luke Schoonmaker regularly. With that said, this is a situation where the value on the Dart and early first side is the side that I'd like to have. That value for your team, you then need to take it and make moves. If you feel like you can make moves, yeah, I'm okay with it. Can you go get a different cheaper tight end to fill in as your second tight end? I'd like you moving on from Jacoby Brissett. The 102 for Dart is fine. Like the Fannin and Brissett for the first is good. You could try to get Mason Taylor back. I mean, pull up the stats and see how you feel on Mason Taylor, or like look for other things. You've got 9 other managers with tight ends who you could get. What would it cost to get Travis Kelce to fill you in for a year or something like that? So we'll say, I'm going to essentially mark that one as even. I wouldn't think you were wild if you did it. But then you just have follow-up moves to get a different tight end or another second tight end. You already have Bowers. You're looking great there. And then you can't start Jackson Dart. So you then have to take Dart and that future first and turn that into receivers. But the value is on that side. It just doesn't fit the team you have. And it's not an overwhelming amount of value to say it's time to swap. Let's take a look. We said we would do Surge on the team review. SER. Here we go. If I open this, I have to open that there. And now I'm just talking to myself. And take that and drag it here. Minimize this. Put this there. SW Dynasty with Surge. Let's look at one of these. And then if I press this button, okay, there's the team review view. Looks okay on the TikTok feed, but we do have widescreen views on Twitch and YouTube where you can see the entire thing more clearly. Let's sort this. Your league, it's a 12-team Superflex start 9. We do have recent keep trade cut valuations for the picks and players. Don't lean heavily on this. This is just to give us a gauge of if you're way at the bottom, you could have an issue. But if you go and you look through who actually won your league, they're going to be all over the spectrum on this chart. Because aging veterans don't have keep trade cut value, but they do score points. And that's what we care about. You're saying full rebuild. Am I cooked? Are you in a full rebuild? Also, Surge. Oh, Greasy K. You're in the full ones to full rebuild. Okay, we'll pull yours up next, Greasy K. I think you were with a K. We did drop a video on YouTube about rebuilding on Monday. Give that one a look if you haven't. Let's take a look at this one, Surge. How are we feeling on this team? Quarterbacks, how many do you have to start? 12-team Superflex. You got Brock Purdy, Jacoby Brissett. Deshaun, possibly. Marco, yeah. So I think we'll do Surge K Marco. Surge K Marco. Right now we're going with who's here, Marco. I'm not sure if you were here 5 minutes ago or 5 to 10 minutes ago when we went through that. And that's not meant to say like that. I'm not trying to be sassy. Let's do the review so we can cover more content on this because we're at 9:14 p.m. and I don't want to go too far past 2 hours. So maybe we'll get those 3. Surge, Greasy, Marco. Oh, Dr. Mays, it's not okay. I'll get something sorted, Dr. Mays, for sure for the next one. Here we go, Surge. Okay. We're going to go position by position. We'll give you a grade at that position out of 4 stars. And then we'll look at, do we feel like you're contending this year, next year, and the year after? And then what sort of trades do we see to get you closer to winning the most often, if that makes sense. So, and I think it will as we talk through it. Your quarterbacks, Purdy, Brissett, Deshaun Watson, we need help here. I don't see any 2026 picks. I do see rookies, so I think you've already done the rookie draft. Maybe I'll put a note that says draft completed on my end. Draft complete? Question mark. Because I can pull that information, I just don't show it. I mean, quarterback, we're looking like a week 2 out of 4. We grade these out of 4 stars, and this is rough. Jacoby Brissett could be the producer for you that you need this year. We don't really have future with Jacoby Brissett past this year. I mean, the Cardinals most likely taking a quarterback next year. So weak. Brock Purdy's good, but not great here. Next column. Bucky Irving, RJ Harvey, DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Brooks. This could be enough on a contending team. It's not the reason you win, but it can be enough. I still like RJ Harvey as fine, as a solid RB2 for you. He was running back 20 last year on the year, putting up some numbers in games. When we get running backs that get drafted early to be stars and then aren't, thing the pendulum kind of swings the other way too far. People are completely out on RJ Harvey now, and we don't know that. We don't know that J.K. Dobbins and Jonah Coleman are just going to push him out as the third. He could still give you a running back 2 numbers or borderline running back 2 numbers. So he could be fine as a second running back. Bucky Irving, I like to bounce back a little bit, and DeAndre Swift is fine as a second running back. Overall, I don't know that we're clearing 2 stars here, though. Like it's okay. This could be good enough. But with this quarterback room already not seeming amazing. Okay, it looks like we've got more production here. Jamar Chase, Rome Odunze, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Khalil Shakir, losing some value this offseason. Tez Johnson, drafted DeJon Stribling. Like maybe this is a big value win with the 49ers. On Keep Trade Cut, people don't believe in him. I think I like him more than most of the market. Tight ends, Eli Stowers, AJ Barner. I mean, we didn't give a grading on the wide receivers. 2 to 3 production and value, 2 to 3. And then tight ends, 2 to 1, 2 to 1. Not looking great. Stowers, we hope becomes good. Like there's a chance Eli Stowers is great. On your screen, how does it look on the Twitch feed? It says tight end 11 on Keep Trade Cut value. That is just guessing and hoping. We do not know that he's going to be tight end 11 in terms of production and youth and like where he's going to end up until he's really playing. The Eagles still have Dallas Goedert on the team. Tight ends typically, I mean, in the past years, it hasn't been as much, but in the past 10 years, took a while to come on and become something. I mean, the example I've been going to a lot is like Trey McBride did nothing for almost 2 years and then became great. So Eli Stowers value, wait. If it's not working at the beginning of the year, he could still become good at the end of the year or in year 2. But for you this year, I don't see a ton of production across the board. So in your 12-team league, are we likely to make the playoffs? I don't know. So where do we go? Where do we start pulling value from declining assets? Because I'm going to talk about this team as though I don't see the playoffs for sure happening this year. If we've got people in the chat who disagree, let me know, because I will pivot the way I'm talking about this. But it's borderline. If Jamar Chase really carries you, if Rome Odunze really breaks out, if we get a great year from Devontae Adams and Jacoby Brissett is the starter all year and is putting up numbers like he did in massive losing efforts, then maybe. And then you have 2 first-round picks next year to start that rebuild. R says, absolutely not. This is a fire sale. I try not to just dump on the teams when I'm looking into the camera at a person who really wants to know what I think. If I took this over as an orphan, I would count out how many starters do we have? And was this a playoff team last year? We need to get to 9. So it's not as bad as needing to fill out 10. We're looking at Purdy and Brissett. We got 2 starters. Bucky, make sure I'm counting. 3 is Bucky. RJ Harvey's 4. DeAndre Swift is probably starting a lot of weeks. Jamar Chase is starting for you. Roma Dunze, Devontae Adams. And then no tight end for that 9th. And Jacoby Myers as a bench option. Like, you could. Chase gives it a false sense of security, says delusional Vikings fan. This is a pretender. That's kind of where I'm leaning with the quarterbacks. So can we don't want to sell low on anyone here. So like, I think I'm holding Harvey. And this is a team where I don't see a ton of, when we have a squad like this, where we may want to change things, I want to get a list of who can I easily sell and who's hard to move. Like Devontae Adams, you can probably get good value or about the value you should expect from a contender, which is probably not a 27 first. If you're getting a first for Devontae Adams, it's like a 29, a way out there when the value is just not that high. Oh, I didn't even notice. I didn't count out. You have Dallas Goedert to start for you. This is a borderline contending team. If you wanted to tear it down right now and do a retool for a year, I wouldn't tell you. I may take a team like this and just do a retool year. But there's not a ton that we're going to be pulling in value. So we're kind of looking to take trades like the valuable assets that we have. Can we use that to get full price for the harder to move assets like DeAndre Swift? So can we move Swift and Adams together with Brock Purdy to try to get to 2 future firsts, something like that? That's the type of deal that I would be looking to make if we're doing retooling on this, to get 27 firsts for quarterbacks, because that's what you'll end up needing. And then by the time we get to 2027, you'll know if Stowers, or you'll feel more confident about what Eli Stowers is for you. So we'd be looking at like Bucky Irving is movable, Brock Purdy is movable, Jamar Chase is movable if you are moving them in a way that gets you paid out in full on Devontae Adams. Same thing with DeAndre Swift, same thing with Jacoby Myers, where I don't know that every team in your league is going to want these guys and they're going to try to send you seconds and thirds. But what you want to be doing is down tiering from Jamar Chase so that instead of getting seconds and thirds for these older, harder to move things, you're getting a bunch of seconds or getting an extra first added onto a deal. Because this looks like a team that has enough value to be back in contention next year if we do a decent retool. Or it's just a borderline hope to get into a playoff, maybe, and then hope for a lucky couple games in the playoffs, with like Jacoby Brissett being something that we're really looking for. So I don't know that I'm looking to make any sort of big bets on Brissett, and I'm not looking to take these future firsts and try to pull them into this year to contend. I would try to get more firsts rather than move my firsts now. So you had Jacobs last year. Your team got 3rd place, sold him for Odunze in the first. Oh yeah, that was one of the ones that we looked at earlier. Yeah, if you can move guys like Odunze in the first, you're kind of already going through the retool. Sold Gainwell and Parkinson for Swift after the season. Then we don't need to tell you all that much. I didn't read the chat as I was just yapping. You had Jacobs. I think that was the trade that did we look at that one earlier? You moved Josh Jacobs. You got Roma Dunze in the first, and then you moved Gainwell and Parkinson for Swift after the season. That's exactly the stuff that it sounds like you have the concepts of trading down. So you don't need me that much on that. Keep making moves like that. As you were able to take 2 junkier pieces. I mean, I got to come up with a better word than junkier, but harder to move pieces like Gainwell and Parkinson. You turned them into DeAndre Swift, who's just more valuable and easier to move with other things to just keep rolling that snowball up. And every time you can get a first out of those guys, you get that first, you move it off to the side, and then keep making trades in that way. Let's jump to the next one, because that took a bit of time. We said we would go Surge, then we say grew with a K. Let's find that over here. How did we spell that one with a K? Oh, I see it. I see it. Open. Move this there. Go this, that, the other stuff. Did that pop up for you guys? Degenerate Drafters Anonymous with a K. How are we feeling on this team? We had looked at it earlier. Was this the one that brought in? You brought in Bijan with the Amon-Ra St. Brown? Is that the one? Lit your team on fire last offseason. Okay. I mean, first glance, it doesn't seem bad, but I haven't really looked. 12-team Superflex, 6-point passing touchdown, start 11, PPR with a bigger tight end premium. You have Josh Allen, you have Dak Prescott. We're looking good here. This is like very strong 3 to 4. We'd be saying like Josh Allen and Jaden Daniels is a 4, a great 4. Dak Prescott's going to give you really good production this year, probably top 10 production. So we're feeling really strong, like a week 4. A really solid 3, a really good 3. We're good at quarterback. Running backs, Bijan, James Cook, David Montgomery, Jalen Warren, Ramondre Stevenson, James Conner, Marshawn Lloyd is on the squad. Shout out Marshawn Lloyd. But we're looking good at the top here. Bijan, James Cook, David Montgomery, very similar to what we said at quarterback, like a really good 3. Really, really solid. Greasy says Super League is what it should be. Is this a different league? This is the one from today with a K. Did you want to look at a different one? Yeah, if you want to look at a different one, hit that, submit that through. You would have to hit the, okay, I'm trying to, oh yeah, I can look right here. Click up here and just select a league and then go to team advice and just send that through right now. And if you send that through in the next like 5-10 seconds, we'll just jump right over to that. Got a trade queue in Fantafrenia from you. R says, yeah, this is a great team. I don't think it was the one that he meant to go through. Okay, we can't go a ton longer because my wife sleeps right in the room. And I try to speak. We're already, both of us, very loud people. Very loud people. Which is an American thing. Website work, Dr. Mays. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. What day is today? Wednesday? Okay, Greasy, it's sent. It's seeming like a third show might be what we need. With a K, Fantafrenia? No. Error 404 as the team. Submitter with a K, Error 404. That's you. Okay. That's you. This. I'm literally just dragging browser tabs into a different browser window. Error 404 from with a K, same picture. Dear God. Okay. This is the team where you said you blew it up last offseason, and I'm not looking at the team and saying, dear God. The first thing that I thought when I looked at this was, you got every pick in 2027. So where are we feeling on this? Michael Thomas just followed on YouTube. Thank you, boss. Thank you, boss. I mean, I guess it's a YouTube subscribe. The app I'm looking at says followed, but on YouTube, they call it a subscribe, right? Right. This team, 10-team Superflex start 10. Quarterbacks, Burrow and Prescott, very similar. I think you were big boy in Prescott. What's big boy's name? Josh Allen? You were Josh Allen and Prescott in the other league. This is Burrow and Prescott, so it's just like a week or 3. We said the other one was a week 3 to a strong 3. This is like a slightly weaker 3. I really like Joe Burrow. I like Dak Prescott for production this year. Not much behind him. I mean, you have the Browns starter. So actually, you have a starter. Somewhat, it's either Shadur or Deshaun Watson. And you'll have a third option in any given week to cover buys because you have them both. So we feel okay about that. Solid. Running backs. RJ Harvey, Woody Marks, Braylon Allen, Brian Robinson. Harvey, we've talked about him some on the show. You've been here. But thinking like a running back 2. Maybe a flex. Maybe he's falls into flex territory. older, but not garbage. Garbage. But the rest of it, we're looking at like a 1 for running backs. You can start one guy. We got to get to 10 starters. You have one running back that we feel like we're going to get points from. And I think you know where we are on this team. Similar, like we have one starter at wide receiver. One. Jaden Higgins. Okay, maybe Jaden Higgins. I know people like Jaden Higgins. I don't love him. I don't know that he's the next T. Higgins. I think this team, am I going nuts? Am I thinking of the right guy? Jaden Higgins is not showing a Texans jersey in this picture. But yeah, you have Jaden Higgins from the Houston Texans. Whoops. Just close the tab. Jaden Higgins from the Texans. It just threw me off because on my screen, it's smaller on y'all's screen, but he's wearing a purple shirt. And that's not the Texans. I'm not a massive fan of his to become a stud for... Steve Smith said he's the next Larry Fitzgerald. I do like Steve Smith. I watched some videos that Steve Smith puts out on YouTube. I don't know that Jaden Higgins is the next Larry Fitzgerald. I don't know that he is. So, I mean, let's just get a grade here. It's like a 1. Ibuka's great, but there's no depth. You're not starting 2. We need flexes. It's definitely optimistic, delusional Vikings fan. A delusional fits on that take. Optimistic, delusional. I like delusional Vikings fan. Tight ends. Okay. How are we feeling here? Mark Andrews, Gunnar Helm. Well, so what do we give the grades here? Like 3, 1, 1, 1. Cool. Greasy, tanking for Jeremiah Smith. I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the first round picks next year. I feel like one of them's going to be up there. So what's there to review? Is there more players to move here? We're at 101 taking Jeremiah Love, 104, 106. We're shooting for receivers. Maybe 106 we go Jadarian Price. That's where I would take it. And then 201, 206, 303, 305. I'd be looking to do whatever I could to... Should I try to get Rice, Greasy? Oh, Rashee Rice? Sure. Let's see. What can we do with the stuff that you have? I mean, if you're getting Rashee Rice for the 201, sure. Should I move all of my seconds and thirds? I personally would. I see your question, Clint. I will get to it. And I see the questions in the TikTok chat. We'll come back to those. Let's take a look at this team. Like, would I move all the seconds and thirds? I would. Especially in a 10 team. Well, in a 10 team, how am I feeling about the 201? Because that comes down to be like the 111. If I'm at the 201 in your league and Ty Simpson's there, I'm just taking Ty Simpson. And actually, with the team that you have, the picks that you have, 201, 206, during the draft, I would be looking as we get into like pick 108, 109, 10 whatever, just moving your 201 and your thirds to try to move up those extra spots to just draft Ty Simpson. Because if we're looking at future value, which is what you care about, his value is not going to go down. He's not starting this year unless he goes to jail. Ty Simpson's value is just going to go up from now until this time next year. So take those picks, and if you feel like he's going to be there at 201, risk it. But at that same pick range, what's the 20? I mean, we just said it was like the 201 is the 111. Maybe you're getting Omar Cooper, who went in the first round, or something close to that. But I would rather just lock it in on value that's going to increase this season, and then be open to moving 206, 303, 305 paired with, if you can find someone who really likes Jaden Higgins, can the 206 and Jaden Higgins get you the 108 this year? I doubt it, but I'd be looking to shop them. There are people that really like Jaden Higgins. If you look in, actually, let's just do this. I need to update. We're going to show you something, but I need to update it. Hopefully this pulls up. One, I don't know why this doesn't pull up his 2025 stats and why he's wearing a purple shirt. Something's going on here. But if you click trades on any page here, it'll just pull your league's scoring. These are showing 12 teams, and I thought we were just looking at it. Oh, it's pulling my league's scoring. When you're logged in, I'm the one who's logged in, so it's showing me 12 teams, Superflex start 10. But if you're logged in and you select your league, it'll show you real trades that have happened with all of your players using your league's settings. So pull up Jaden Higgins on your league and see kind of what range he's in on real trades. People are sending him for a 27-second. If you paired him with a 26-second or with your 26-second, where does that get you? What options do you have there? For me, I wouldn't be looking to take the bet on Jaden Higgins if I have 100 million 27 firsts. I'd rather just get him as close to a 27 first as I can. So Jaden Higgins plus a 27 second, or Jaden Higgins with some of these picks to move up for more future value. Other guys that you have here, like Jaden Higgins and Mark Andrews, is that getting you to one better player? Because I don't know that you're going to get a first for them, but like Jaden Higgins and Mark Andrews, can that get you to a value depressed player like CJ Stroud? Unlikely, but we're looking for guys in that same conversation that people are really down on that aren't bad. The other name that comes to mind is like Brian Thomas. Again, you're not necessarily going to get to Brian Thomas, but shoot your shot with Jaden Higgins. Some people love him. Some people love him. Lucas Hill, how do you submit your team? We are going to shut things down for the night pretty soon, but we will show you. You just click team advice up here. So we'll show you right after that. We'll check out all the chats here. Let's see, is there any other stuff that jumps out with this team for with a K? I mean, at any point, we're shopping Shadur and Deshaun Watson for value. I feel like there's no one here that we're holding on to, even Emeka Egbuka. If you have to move Egbuka with Jaden Higgins and Mark Andrews, and that gets you the way I would view any trade is if I'm moving Emeka Egbuka and I'm moving what does that let me do with Jaden Higgins? Does that make sense? Can you for sure, should you sell Joe Burrow? You should be open to it. The answer that we did a video on Monday about rebuilding, and I'm pretty sure the thing I say is like, if you're moving your best guy or you're moving the best guy in the trade, you want to be getting across thresholds with other guys into first round picks. Like no one's giving you a future first for Jaden Higgins or even a combo of Jaden Higgins and Mark Andrews, but does selling down tiering from Joe Burrow at his price then let them do that? I gave a bunch of examples in the video. That one's on the site. But I don't see a ton of guys that we need to try to get out on. You've kind of done most of what we need to do. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 future firsts. Take this team and say 10 teams start 10, and you're going to get 5 starters next year. We just got to get to 5 with what you have here. So keep in mind, like even future seconds, 27 seconds will become tradable for veteran players that you can start. Delusional Vikings fan, Emeka and Higgins for Tet McMillan or similar. Yeah. See if you can do that with like Emeka and Mark Andrews or Emeka and Elijah Arroyo too. Take a look at stuff like that. And then was it Marco that we said was the other one we would look at for a team review today? We did Serge, Greasy, and then Marco. Marco, what's yours on here? And then as you tell me, Marco, if you're still here, we'll clear out the TikTok chat. Clint L, are you the only person in the Boom Bust Fantasy website? Like the only one on the team? Yeah. I mean, we have mods. Alex is in here aiming. She mods our live chats. It says it's been a minute from, oh yeah, 1-5 Nick. It did not show me your name. It just showed the dartboard. It's been a minute. Yes. Yes. Thank you for being back, 1-5 Nick. It has been a minute. We do stream every day. But we just have a separate gaming streaming TikTok, Boom Bust Gaming, that we stream from when we're doing gaming. Marco is Marco Potter. Let's pull that one up and then let's give the room back to the wife. Nick's Dynasty League. How is Nick? I don't know, Nick. I'm just saying things while I move stuff. 12 team, 1 quarterback, 6-point passing touchdown, start 8. Let's do that. What time is it? And then I just pulled this up. Let's make sure I actually read all these messages. I said I would, and then I just didn't. Like David, I see yours. David, I see yours. And did I say it right last week? Was it Soares? Thank you for coming back. The name is ringing. It's definitely ringing a bell because you were here. It was either last week or Monday, because today's Wednesday and we definitely did this on Monday. I am starting to lose my mind. Okay. No more yapping. Just read and respond. Oh, Nick. 1-5, Nick. I just see the message. Malik Willis, HN, Ollie Gordon. I feel like I'm missing some parts here. Missing some context there. Clint, we said, I am the only one working on it. David, thoughts on trying to revive a league? 2 teams are significant juggernauts. 2 are far behind. That's tough. I'm in a league where we have some juggernauts and some guys that just make some rough trades where they see things differently. They definitely see things differently than I do. And they see things differently than a lot of trade markets. And it leads to some bad teams. The best advice that I have is you just got to tell people to be more active. If you have someone in your league who will sell things for cheap, then you got to be buying. You got to be doing a lot of the conversation. You got to be driving a lot of the conversation for those deals. Or finding people to take over those teams who are fine with going through a hefty rebuild. I mean, asking someone, hey, are you really committed to this long term? And then maybe you have to cover someone to come in across the, have the league cover someone's buy-in to have if the team's really bad, to have it taken over. Okay, Clint signed into the website and clicked on my team. Is that all I need to do? Clint, what is that's the one you guys are looking at. We're about to do Marco. Let me throw Marco up here. Clint said you submitted. We're going to cut after the one that we have here. Let me refresh this one. Clint Thulu. I see it, Clint. I do see it. How often are these fantasy streams, Ethan? I feel like these 2 questions go together. Ethan and Clint, when will you do mine? Monday, if you're there. So the team reviews are, the stuff that we've been doing right now is just free. And it won't stay free, which is why we're not committing to do every free one that gets submitted. June, we will get to the point where we're just doing all of them, but we'll have a paid system through the site. It's just that isn't added on the site yet. So once that's in and we feel confident with any sort of bugs that we've been finding doing these for free, which is what we're doing right now. We do the team reviews and trade questions for free to find any bugs or any situations that things aren't being handled correctly. Like we found situations, leagues with 2 starting tight ends does not get called out and should. So that's why we don't charge anything, because we'll find all of these situations, we'll clean them up, and then the site will just be up and live and on to its next phase of life. So we will be live again Monday. That was a question that Ethan had. How often are these fantasy streams? They're Monday and Wednesday right now. If we find that we are getting an overwhelming amount of questions in the queue, we'll do the show more. We'll do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I have stuff on Thursdays in the summer, but we'll do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and so on, if that's the demand. But right now it's Monday and Wednesday. and they start at 7:30 Central Time. If the demand gets larger and we need to start them sooner so that I'm not in my room at 9:45, we'll do that as well. But it's up in the air, except for Mondays and Wednesdays is where we're starting, and we'll add more to it. Alex said, "What's the beer?" It's Daisy Cutter from Chicago. David, would you install a luxury tax to limit elite players? I wouldn't. I don't know that anyone should feel punished for being good or for making good trades or for being the ones who go out of their way to make trades happen with the players who are giving up all of these good players or picks. You should still let people feel rewarded. Willie, if it's just your startup question, I don't know. Sean says, thanks for all your info. Appreciate your insight. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. It is really appreciated, Sean, the kind words. Same thing like Ethan. This is awesome. I'll be there Monday, 7:30 Central, the Lord's time, Abraham Lincoln's time. Let's jump to this one as the last one, and then we'll clear out any questions from TikTok as well. So if you have a question that isn't just a trade question that would go through the site, punch it in the chat, and then we'll come back right after this one. Let's just focus up so that I can give the room back to my wife so she can go to bed, so she doesn't tell me how tired she is tomorrow. The entire day. Okay, Knicks Dynasty League, Marco Potter, 12-team, 1 quarterback, 6-point passing touchdown, 8 starters, a little bit shallower, which we only mention to say the value goes up to the top. The value goes up to the top in a shallow league. We'll sort this to get a gauge of where we're starting at. The keep trade cut value of this team has you in the bottom third, but this is not something that we should take heavily into account. This is just keep trade cut value. It's not performance. Something just came through on YouTube that we should call Lucas a stay hydrated turtle drinking. Thank you very much. As well as thank you. We do really appreciate you. We do really appreciate it, Lucas, for the super stickers, super chats, super stickers. Thank you very much. Gifts on YouTube. Thank you. I need to learn the names to call them out as they come through. I will pivot from what I'm saying to turn and say thank you on those. On this league, 12-team, we do these grade by grade, position by position. This is for Marco. Quarterbacks, Jordan Love, Cam Ward. The keep trade cut rating here is going to show these as QB 15 and 16. So if we're at team 12, we're not in love. We're not in love with the situation. We're not in Jordan Love. Well, we are in Jordan Love, but we're not loving that we're in Jordan Love. And Cam Ward maybe takes a leap forward, but neither one of these guys really runs. We're just looking at good pocket passers who are probably in best case scenarios, giving you like the best case scenario from one of these guys is going to be a QB like 7 or 8 finish. I don't know that either one of these guys is going to be Dak Prescott, who will give you like a QB 3, 4, 5 as a pocket passer, no running as a pocket passer. Same as or hit the high end of a Joe Burrow, a guy who's not going to run, but's going to throw a lot of touchdowns. That's not what we're looking at here. We're looking at 2 guys that aren't really going to run. And in a really good year, it could give you high 20s in touchdowns, which isn't amazing in a 1 QB league. These are both like interchangeable level or non-impactful scoring numbers. So we're going to call this like a good 1, a 2, a low 2. There's another thing coming through from Lucas. Thank you very much. A floating heart. Thank you. Running backs, Judkins, Breece Hall, DeAndre Swift. Nothing extremely high end. Maybe Judkins becomes high end. We've seen him score touchdowns for the Browns. Maybe this offense takes a big step forward with Todd Monken. Breece Hall maybe takes a step forward with this offense, bringing in Geno, bringing in all of the players that they drafted on offense. Maybe he gets back to that top 12. So we could have 2 top 12 guys here. We could have 3 RB2s. So we're going to call this like a weak 3, a strong 2, kind of that range at running backs. This is definitely this team. This running back room could be championship tier, but with the quarterbacks, like we're not getting elite quarterback. We'll keep looking at the rest of this. Wide receivers: Jordan Tyson, Harrison, Addison, Wandale, Coker. Okay. If we're only starting 8 guys, we need to start seeing more elite players. And we have a shot with Marvin Harrison. He could be, like we thought he would be, and then wasn't, and hasn't been for 2 years. So maybe he gets there with new coach. Jordan Tyson, like rookie, we don't know what's going to happen, but could be excellent. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with the Eagles. I almost said the Phillies. With the Philadelphia Eagles, are they trading away AJ Brown? Like it's being reported that they have traded him away, and then Jordan Tyson fills in a role. Does he become AJ Brown in that offense and is a wide receiver one? Possibly. I can't rule that out, but we're not feeling strong here. Like it's a good 2. A good 2. It's one of the stronger groups so far. And tight ends, Harold Fannin. Yeah, that's good enough. No tight end premium, so we don't need to worry a ton about this. We have 1 pick next year, and it's not ours. Is this team contending this year in this league? Like, was this a playoff team last year? I don't know that I'm driving this team on the contending road right now. Who said he's on the Saints? Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson is on the Saints. Thank you, Incident Archives. It does. I need to just put the team name on the screen that I'm looking at. I was definitely thinking Mekhi Lemon. Thank you, Incident Archives. It's getting late, is what I'll say. I do feel better about Jordan Tyson. Second option to Chris Olave. Yeah, so this will push it up a little bit further. What we were saying before, I like Tyson a little bit further ahead than Mekhi Lemon. I spent a lot of time talking about the Eagles, and I was completely an idiot. Thank you for that. Not for calling me, not for the way I feel, but thank you for the correction on something that should be corrected. So where are we going with this? Because we have 1 first-round pick. Where do we start moving stuff? Like, if we are in a 1 quarterback league, can we get anything for Jordan Love and Cam Ward? I don't know that we're going to. Where do we start moving things? We got to start rolling stuff up. Like Wan'Dale Robinson and Jordan Addison, I don't know that they're on this version of the team that is contending, because I feel like we're in a retool here. We have a lot of guys that, like Kalen Black, Chris Brazel, possibly hit for you. But with someone like Chris Brazel, I would look at like Isaac Tesla. Doesn't really have any value right now. Same thing with Ted Hurst on Tampa. These rookie guys that are coming in and like there's excitement about them. There was excitement about Isaac Tesla, and now we're not really getting anything there. Maybe we get something from Tesla in year 2. Maybe. But it's unlikely. Same thing with like Jalen Coker, a guy that has gotten some hype, and then that hype kind of fades away. So can we start to take some of these guys and get to, I'm seeing just getting to seconds and thirds with them. You've been here before, but the same kind of moves that we've been talking about with rebuilds, trying to add these things onto your better, more tradable pieces to get more firsts added into your trades. Like, does Judkins and Addison get you to 227 firsts or past that? I think it should get you in that range. That's the sort of stuff that I'm looking at, because I'm not feeling this as a strong contender for the championship this year, but with stuff rolled up and grabbing more 27 firsts, I think that we can be. So I would be looking at like Judkins, Breece Hall, Marv, Tyson, Fannin as all things you shouldn't have a problem moving. And the only reason we would move them is to get paid out on like some of these guys that are going to be hard to move. Like Wan'Dale, we want to get as much as we can from Wan'Dale Robinson in value, converted into future value. Same thing with like DeAndre Swift, a declining asset that is going to be productive. We want to be attaching him to whatever player other people in your league actually want to then get paid full price for DeAndre Swift. Because we just have the 1 first next year and seconds and thirds from someone else. We don't have our own first to really help do this retool. So we want to just start converting stuff that's going to be declining into things that are going to maintain value or go up in value. So I do have a video on YouTube of players that I look at for value maintainers. In a 2 quarterback league, it's not going to, or in a 1 quarterback league, it's not going to matter as much with someone like CJ Stroud, who I think is at the low end of his value. Who else could we be targeting here? Like Rashee Rice is going to be really low on value. If we can pivot Wan'Dale Robinson and something else and get to Like, what is it going to cost you to go from Wandale up to Brian Thomas, who has had big breakout years, but is now really declined? I would look at something like that. Like Wandale and DeAndre Swift, can that get you up to Brian Thomas? That's something I would look at. We're looking for a wide receiver in that range or in that moment in their career. Brian Thomas was wide receiver 5 as a rookie, bad second year because of injury. He's way down on value, but should be a value riser and at his floor. Maybe similar idea with like a Ladd McConkey to try to get to as a value riser. And we're just looking to move on from Swift. And then all of these young guys, we just can't be tied to them because we just want to be making really as many trades as we can that are slightly gaining value, but also pivoting from value decliners. And then you have Caitlin Black, who could become another like Jordan Mason on the 49ers and go up in value. And I'd be looking to move them as that hit. And then if anyone is buying into the hype on Ted Hurst or Chris Brazzell with any sort of offseason news, I would try to pivot those into picks slightly more valuable than the ones that you spent on them. This one was Marco. Did we have any other questions from Marco? If you could get your own 27 first back for Breece Hall, that's something I would also look at doing, because then you can, as like an early move, to then bring this thing down for the earlier pick. Let's clear out the TikTok chats, the Twitch chats, the YouTube chats, and wrap it up for the night. Like who? There was one. Who did I see? Will says, I appreciate you. And also says, hey, when could you review my team? Right now, what we're doing, Will, with the team reviews, is because this is typically a paid product and these have been free, is that once the site is set to take up payment, we'll just be doing shows as often as we need to keep up with team review demand, but I'm not going to keep up with team review demand while they're free and in testing. So what we did today was we grabbed ones from people who were here live. We set our queue of them and then we went through them. We went through our trade queue and then went through the team review queues. So the next show for sure will be on Monday. And as there's more demand throughout the summer, we'll add in shows that are needed. But right now I'm not going out of my way to do a bunch of free ones. Right now, we're just kind of bug testing the process and the site. Cool. Sean Cutts, have I ever heard of Dust Bowl beer out of Turlock, California? I haven't. Will Pining, how much will it cost? I'll do more market research to make sure that I'm not on the high end, but I'm going to be on the low end of team review pricing. These are typically, some of these go for over $30. I will be on the low end of team review pricing. Greasy, do I need an unpaid intern? I don't know. Probably. But that would be for stuff like YouTube thumbnails and things like that. And I don't know that I'm good enough at the things that I'm doing to actively hand it off and make that save time, if that makes sense. I don't know that I'm good enough yet. We should get there. We'll get there. But that's my thought process there. In the Discord, we do need people doing like modding for things and other stuff. Post in the Discord. There's a mod channel. I'll just show you what I mean so that I'm not just guessing. Why did I type the word mod? I wanted to type Discord, and then this should open Discord. In our Discord, if you're on Twitch or YouTube, you can type !Discord to get the link here. And then we don't have a work with me channel, but we do have a mod application. If you're looking to do stuff, post in there and we'll figure something out. If there's a possibility, if there's something to do, but I'm not sure that there is. And it's like a real week, maybe. Did we miss anything else? I have not heard of, I don't think I covered that one. I had not heard of Dust Bowl beer out of California. Do they go nationwide? We're in Chicago. I don't think they go nationwide, do they? I think we're at the end. Maybe we could look it up because we are in the final minutes. I hadn't heard of it. Extensive portfolio of craft beers. Oh la la. Oh la la. Fancy. No. No, sir. Oh, I've seen it. Wait, maybe I've seen that. I don't know. I don't know. We will wrap it up there. I think we covered everything. Tony said Bijan is overrated. He's decent. He's flashy, inconsistent, not impressive, hardly scores touchdowns. Okay. Okay, Tony. I don't know that I agree. I don't know that I agree, and I'm not seeing other messages. We will be back on Wednesday. We do stream games. We'll be streaming games tomorrow on Boom Bust Gaming, the other TikTok page, the other YouTube page. We keep it separated for people who don't want to watch that, but we will be there. So if you gave us a follow there, it would be greatly appreciated. And we'll close up the stream. I got nothing else to say. There's no one else to raid out to. I'm going to click go offline. Thank you guys for being here. We will be back on Monday for another set. Take care, take care, take care.